Test it. All right. Thank you all. Welcome. Thank you for attending this week. I'll introduce myself first. My name is Wallace Lewis Temple Jr., also known as Raak, or you can call me Temple, whichever form that you want to call me. I'm going to jump right into it this week. We're going to have Brother Vince come in just a few to kind of review everything that you all have done. If this is your first time here, we want to make sure that you fully understand that we're speaking of everything that's listed on this website. So everything that I say or anything that I do, it'll always be in some form on this website called the IRS.gov. So we're here to learn how to do this together. This is a study group. No one knows more than anyone, so we all want to study this in the way that we best can explain it to each other and explain it even to ourselves. So I'm jumping in, firstly starting out saying my introduction to this is the way I jumped into this knowledge was back in 2016 when I learned about a revocable living trust. Once I heard about this, I didn't know what it was, but I did have a family, I did have a wife, and I did have some things going on in my life I needed to get together. But I felt like, why not protect myself and get a trust, right? I didn't know what it was. I just followed instructions, and lo and behold, it led me to this study of the revocable trust exclusively. At first, I started off in irrevocable and foreign trust. I went into the 9/8 number. I know about all those different layers that people have ventured in. I know about the express trust. I know about being the Moor. I'm a Moorish national, all those things. I know about American national. So I ventured into almost everything that you can think of. But when I got back to the trust, I realized that, hey, how am I supposed to get paid? How am I supposed to get money? And then they tell you, hey, don't worry about charging people for money because you don't have to worry about that no more because you don't want to use money. And I started thinking, like, that doesn't make any sense because I still have to pay my bills. I still have to have food. I still have to have land, all these things, right? So money started to be the problem because nobody talked about getting money or talked about how am I supposed to maintain myself in this system until I get everything right. So that's why I jumped right into the IRS or the Treasury because I know that the Treasury is the most rejected of all, that we actually avoid the IRS. I know I did at a certain point in my life. I totally avoided the Internal Revenue Service. So I started to jump right into this knowledge. Then I started asking more questions. It's like, hey, why didn't I learn this in college? I mean, I have a diploma, but why didn't they teach me about taxes at all? Right? I knew people who had business degrees and I knew people who have accounting degrees, right? And they still didn't learn about taxes. So this isn't to talk about if someone is smart or they're not, or they're dumb, or this isn't a smart or dumb thing. This is really just us learning new information, learning how we never were taught about any of this knowledge. So that's my introduction, just getting us started out. I always want to open the floor for everyone to give your experience so far of what you've dealt with since you started using the revocable living trust and whatever experience you may have had with the IRS, whether we may have got investigated by the criminal investigations. It could be a situation where maybe you got a check back, right? And they ask you for the money back. There's all types of situations that anybody can deal with. You may owe the IRS right now. You may owe the IRS over $50,000. We don't know. But that is what we're here about. We're here to tell you to be able to speak to the IRS and give your best understanding of what you know as having a trust. So that is what I want to get us started off first to try to jump us into where we left off. So I now open up the floor and open up the mic for anyone else that wanted to give an introduction or experience so far since they started out with their revocable living trust.
I had a question. Um, As far as like living under the trust, moving forward, and if something was to happen to go to the hospital or the doctor's office in real time, how would that work not using the social security number?
Well, let's first get started with your experience first, because we don't really know everybody's different approach at this. So yes, the revocable trust covers that situation as well, and I'll prove it because I just came from dealing with that for my daughter. She had to get something for the dentist, and we didn't have to pay a single cent. We didn't pay anything. She had to get the dentist to look at what she needed to be done for her teeth. So yeah, this goes as far as everything. I'll be covering those layers of life that people think is just grabbing the treasury check. Is actually a lot more than just the treasury check. We'll talk about that a little later. But yes, it does cover medical if you know how to approach the hospital correctly with your revocable living trust. So I hope that answers the question. But can you share your experience a little bit of what you've been dealing with since you started your trust? Because I know some of us may have got into some calamity when we started the trust, or some of us may have been just, it doesn't matter what it is. I think we're always in calamity. Almost all of us are in some type of form of calamity. Go ahead, brother.
Well, since I started the trust, my experience been progressive. Um, I faced some challenges as far as getting it established with the clerk of courts. Um, them not recognizing the document and sending me away several times, not accepting to record it. Um, but once I went back, the last time I went and just refused to take no for an answer. They eventually figured it out. Something else I was able to do was to write off my student loans, which was my major debt, uh, over $200,000 on the Schedule C. And it's been 2 years now, and I haven't received those student loan invoices anymore. And this year, 2020, well, not this year, but going into 2026, I'm in position to execute the trust and stand behind it and stand on it as far as going to court in a family case, going to court on child support, um, and just moving forward with the benefits and rewards for putting myself in position.
That's great, man. I'm glad you went into that. So yeah, I mean, so basically what you're saying is you've dealt with family law or family court in some form. So that's great. I mean, you've been able to use the trust to get you to maneuver through that. Does anybody else have any similar situation? Are you dealing with court? Are you dealing with custody or things like that? I mean, how did that work out with the trust when you had custody? Because some of us may have a situation where there's a custody issue, right? So that's a layer of the trust. The revocable trust does deal with, well, I think it also deals with custody. There's so many talks to this point, but I want to keep us centered in to get into the refunds this week. We got refunds and overpayments. So I know that it's hard to explain this, but I guess the best way to get started is to always bring in the IRS. So let's jump right into the IRS. Does anybody here have any situation that you may be dealing with the IRS? Let's say the IRS says you owe money, or you may have to go to court based upon the IRS or something, right? There's all things that most people are, if you can get over the IRS, trust me, you can deal with the state attorney's office. If you can deal with the IRS, you can deal with the landlord. Trust me, it's a big time thing when you all are talking about dealing with the IRS. So go ahead. We got real estate chick has her hand up, and then we got Kim Jim. She'll be able to get into her next as well. Go ahead.
Yes, hi. Since I have been doing the trust experience, I think it's about maybe a year or 2 years. Um, I do have an RS issue. I owe the RS some money because I was trying another process that somebody said. where you can basically you can say it's not income or something like that, but it ended up making me owe a lot of money from to the IRS because I didn't do the tax write-off. I ended up doing it. All these companies that's supposed to be creditors, I end up doing the 1099. And once I did that and I didn't write off all the stuff from my business, I end up owing the IRS like over $50,000. But doing the trust experience, I was doing the trust from last year, and when I did it, it gave me an income back, and the IRS asked me to send them proof of documents that I have this credit. So I was not sure how to move forward from that.
Thank you for sharing that experience. We actually have the answer and remedies to that. We can tell you exactly what you're supposed to show. And you're supposed to walk in sometimes too to verify your identity because sometimes they just don't know who is doing this. Because, like, we can have people help us, but the IRS ultimately looks at us being the main one who can access whatever it is that deals with the treasury. So that's another part. I'm glad you mentioned that. We can have people help us with this process. They can do it for you. But at the end of the day, you still have to be able to go in or talk to the IRS to prove the document that you need in order to release the funds, which we'll get into that later on today.
Okay, and
To
I
help
know
you,
I'm sorry to cut you. I know some people that has actually got the check. Like I know someone who did it and got the check, but they were never able, they can't cash the check.
we'll talk about that too. But let's go back. Let's back up a little bit. Let's back up. Let's go back to the part you said you owed the IRS, right?
Hmm.
Why do you owe? Is it because of a late filing? Is it because of a frivolous filing? What is it that they're saying you owe?
Well, number one, when I was starting to do my taxes in the past, it was like I made too much income, so I had owed them because of the income. And then that amount, I didn't finish paying it completely. That was like a few years ago. So that has accumulated. But last year, I was taking somebody else class that does some RS strategy, I think, which is something they do, which is 12 USC 411 or something, which is considered credit, is not really, you have to explain to the IRS this is not considered income by some type of IRS code. And from that code, the IRS is supposed to give you credit back after you do your tax. So I did it in that way and I followed it. But instead of them sending me a check, they said I owe like $50,000 on top of what I already owe. So in reality, I really owe like 100 and some $1,000.
No problem, no problem. I understand. Thank you for explaining that because that explains some situations that some of us may have got into, may have not finished the process or finished the entire part, what the IRS expects us to do, because they're not going to tell you the answer. They can't. They can't give us legal advice. They can't tell us what to write on what form or what line. So yes, there is a part that you're missing that you have to complete.
Yeah, I actually just sent them some document from the person that was doing the tax class with me. It's I can't remember the code, but that code I wrote some type of letter and the IRS is supposed to correct it because it's not supposed to consider income. So it's just another strategy like this, but is some IRS code that shows that it's not income and then they supposed to send you back a check based on that. So I'm
No,
just
there's
waiting.
no
Yeah.
there's no other remedy other than the revocable living trust. So
Oh,
just to help you really quick, what you should have sent them was the revocable living trust, right? And you should have sent them your power of attorney, the 2848. So have you
I
sent them
did
your
that
power of
as
attorney?
well. Yes.
And did you send them your revocable living trust?
Yes, all that was sent from last year. So
No, I'm
after,
saying when they contacted you with the letter, did you send them the revocable trust? Did you talk to the IRS agent on the phone? Did you tell them that you have a revocable living trust?
yeah, they had got all of that. And then after they got all of that, they had asked for my information again and I uploaded it into the website. And after I did my tax, everything that I did for the tax, which is um, I think I did the 1099A and Bs and stuff like, well, it was really for the Bs. That's what I did with the trust. So after I did that, it showed a credit. And from that credit, that's when they sent me the letter. I didn't know what else to do from that point. So I just kind of
No, so you
didn't move
never
forward.
responded to the letter, is what you're saying.
No.
That's the problem. It's a test. They just want to see if you were going to send in the revocable trust again,
Oh,
the
okay.
1099-Bs that you filed, right?
Okay. Because I
You
was trying
never
to
verify.
decide.
You never verified you did it, right? Who else could somebody else could have done it for you? Does that
Oh,
make
okay.
sense?
Okay, yeah.
Or you
All right,
can
I'll
call
go
them.
back and do that, I guess.
Does that help remedy that? Because it sounds that you've done most of the steps that some of us may do this, and maybe we may run into the same thing that you just ran into.
Okay.
So there's something that you have to verify. They just want to make sure that it's you.
Okay. So I'll send them, I guess I'll move forward now, send those papers and see what
It's
happens
not
with
it's
that.
not a paper game no more. You all That's why we try to tell people when you deal with the IRS, there's no more hiding. There's no
Okay.
hiding. You can't hide. You have to call them. You have to respond to every letter they write you, or you have to go in. Those are the three steps.
Okay. Well, it was
Those are
my
the
first
only
time
three
doing that, so
remedies.
I was kind of confused with it. Yeah.
I hope that helps because I know sometimes, we got to feel confident in these processes if we call them processes. Like because you have to stand on it. We
Okay.
always tell people, "Hey, I'm the trustee of the revocable living trust." We just use the EIN docket. So if you just should use your trust certificate of trust the IRS gave us, which is the EIN document they gave us, the revocable living trust, the tax forms, and you should be good to go.
But I know besides that, it has been very helpful with me learning it because I had got a lawsuit and I was able to like get trust account, create trust account and everything. So they wasn't able to touch my money because they were in a trust account and the regular thing in my name, they couldn't do nothing. There was nothing in there.
No problem, no problem. We're not, we're okay with that. We just want to help remedy the
Okay.
$50,000. Right? They're gonna say, "Hey, this doesn't seem right. Can you respond to us? Can you tell us what this is?"
Okay.
I hope that answer. So we had someone else that came in, didn't want to take too long with not giving them a chance. I think someone else had stepped up and said something.
It was
But
me, Kim.
Kim, okay,
Um,
there we go. We got Sister Kim.
how
Uh,
you doing?
how everything is well. How
It's
how is
good.
it? How is it that you have so far with your experience with the revocable living trust?
So my situation is very similar to the young lady who was just speaking about what processes have been processed. Now, in terms of I have a revocable living trust. This is my third time seeing your information some way or another it comes up. And last week, I believe I got to listen to the latter part of the Sunday class, and you were speaking specifically to the filings of the 1099 A's and B's. Um, in my situation, I prepared the taxes. I have been preparing the taxes for myself, my family, and some others. And I came across this information about the filing all of the bank information for all of your accounts and things of that nature. So I processed the 1099 A's and B's, not to be too long-winded. Everything is very similar to what she had. I have a personal IRS debt, but it's from another year, from another filing. It has nothing to do with the revocable. So in essence, the IRS has returned and frozen and unfrozen, and everything is on the transcripts, but we haven't been able to get it down. So are you saying that I need to file everybody's revocable trust with the IRS in order to get it down? To pull it off the transcripts? Because it's reporting on the transcripts, the credits are.
Yeah, no problem. Like everyone can get the credit, right? So let's say everyone does the process. I do it for my family, like my mom. I do it for my uncle, my dad, everyone, right?
Mm-hmm,
Which I'm not going to do yet because there's a specific thing that always happens, right? The IRS is going to call them, right? Or send them a letter
mm-hmm,
and ask them, do you have this? Do you have that?
mm-hmm.
You can't talk for them.
Right. And everybody has done their verifications. Everyone has gone in and done their verifications. And they
Hmm.
keep saying 60 days, 60 days, 60 days.
Is this the trust side or is this the individual side?
This is the individual side because I wasn't aware of the revocable trust needed to accompany it until I started hearing your information. I've never heard that before.
No problem. So they're giving you, they're investigating it. They're opening, because they're opening up on the individual side.
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about this. So we want to get you from the individual side in the system to the
Mm-hmm.
business side.
Okay.
So this is your answer here. So it sounds like they got you over here and they're just continually looking at more of your information, asking for more accounts, right? That's usually what they'll do. But if you're
So
on
they
this
haven't,
side,
I'm
oh, go
sorry,
ahead.
they
No,
haven't asked for any other information. They keep just saying 60 days. But on the transcripts of for the people, I see that you know how they have the TC codes of whatever they're doing?
okay, I understand what you're saying. They're like processing it, right?
Right. But the last code was entered, which was I think 810 or 811, which means that they unfroze
So
the
are you doing this as a trust for the people, or are you doing this as everybody's filing taxes in their individual name,
right,
but we're
because
doing it how go ahead, explain it to me. How does that work?
it was just the 24. We was just doing our 24 taxes regularly, but we initiated the 1099 A's and B's first, and then we filed the taxes. But that was for 23, 24. I'm sorry.
Correct, got you. So you know what they're doing, right?
What?
Did you file those 24s before April 15th or April 12th? What's that date? They always ask
Yeah.
you to. So did
Yeah, I
you all
did.
file them before that date?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So the 24, everything was filed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just verifying there's nothing that they say is wrong. Did they say, hey, is this so there's look like a problem right here? This looks like you may have
So
made an error on the taxes. Did they say that?
So so far, I have not gotten any requests for further information. Like I said, everybody was requested to go in and verify their identity, but they've been doing that anyway for years because of all this fraud. But and then the fact that the amounts were significantly higher, of course, because we claimed everything. Um and they have just been sending 60-day letters. We'll respond to you in 60 days. Or 60 days since whenever they initiated that, after the verification took place, which was about June or July of this year.
Do you have your 2848 on file?
I do.
So everyone has their 2848 with power of
Yep.
attorney.
Yeah, I did that before I did everything. I did know that we had to do the power of attorney and the 56.
Okay, so it sounds like there's nothing wrong from what we get most of the time. If there's nothing wrong,
Mm-hmm.
then there's nothing to worry about.
Just have to wait.
Correct. Usually it's a waiting game.
So in terms of what you advised previously, should I refile not refile, but like add the revocable again? Because
What
you
is
said,
again? Did you
because
already
you
add it the
said
first time?
But you said the person before you said she had added hers before, but you said she needed to add it again
No, she
for
needed to respond to the letter.
the letter. Okay.
You see
Okay.
the letter is saying, hey, prove these things, but you're saying that your letter is not asking you to prove anything. It's telling
It's
you
not.
to wait 60 days. That's what
Yeah,
you're saying.
it keeps saying 60 days every 60 days. That's what I'm saying. Since June. And it's about to be December. So I'm just trying to see if there's something else you could possibly think. I know you have probably come across these situations, something that maybe I do need to do the revocable again, or should I just leave it and just wait more time? Or
What is do it again? That's why I keep asking that. So did you
oh,
already
because
send your
yeah, the
revocable trust into the treasury?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you don't have nothing to worry about. That's the problem, is that when there's nothing wrong, that's a good thing. It's just
Yeah.
when do we start picking up this trust? That would be the question. Like, hey, all of a sudden the treasury's looking at us like, hey, they were on the individual side for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
but all of a sudden they just grab the trust, right? So maybe the system is processing you. It's only been less than a year.
Okay.
Does that make
It's
sense? Because you're new to the system. You're new.
got you. Okay. Well, I'll let everyone know because they're like, what? What? Okay.
Right, right. Of course, we all want the treasury check and the funds to show up. But we're going to get into how someone else brought in a question about maybe the funds did show up, but they took the money, right? Or some other agency could have taken the money, or it could be that they freeze the funds.
They had frozen them, but they unfroze them October the 20th.
Okay, so you've already gave us a report on your transcript. So you're telling me in real time on your transcripts, you're seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
This means that you know that they're doing something. So
Right.
they froze it.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they freezing it? And then if they unfroze it, then that's a good thing.
Right. Okay. I'll just tell them to hold their horses. Thank you.
No problem. So we got anybody else that wanted to go into the testimonials or their experience so far since using the revocable trust? That's what we're talking about now. Anybody just coming in, or we're just talking about our experience so far since we used the revocable trust?
Can I just add to what she was originally saying? Just from an experience that I had that was similar.
Absolutely. You have the floor.
Okay, so I just have really gotten into the administrative procedure, and I've been going through somewhat of the same situation. And what I find is working for me is if they send you a letter stating that they're taking 60 days to get back to you, you can either accept that or you can decline that. And what you can do is you can actually assert a fiduciary timeline as the fiduciary, and you can reference that you have a duty to act promptly, on behalf of the trust or the estate if you are filing for a trust or estate. And I personally have stated that the 60-day delay, it impairs my fiduciary obligations and it doesn't satisfy the administrative due process. And when I respond that way, I usually get a response, usually within 10 days, but I'll state that I have to set a response window. So just like a computer software has to be programmed using codes or IRC codes, because that's US. Go ahead. Oh, so I thought someone was talking. So you always want to provide like a window, just say, 10 to 15 business days. And you want to cite specific administrative, principles. Timely response is required to avoid prejudice to fiduciary rights, something like that. And I can paste a letter that I've used on this chat if you'd like me to. But I know that's worked for me because what happens is there's a 2-year window to collect. Like if you've done a refund on older years, like 2017, let's say, you have up to 2 years to collect on those. Like you have 2 years on the last payment or the last year. So the 60 days is sometimes used as it's used as an IRS tool to delay for time, but they also need time for processing as well. So, but you have to state yourself that that's not going to work for you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. What we're seeing is most of the time, if you do this through e-file, we like to say that's another way that you know for sure that they got it and there's no problems. So e-file and direct deposit. So it's another way that you get the funds in later. If it's an amended tax return, they always mail the check. So if it's a 1040 and it's an amended tax return, they will always mail the check. If it's a regular filing, they'll deposit the money right into your bank account. As soon as they clear up all the errors, whether you owe money to the IRS, whether you have forgot to verify yourself, maybe you don't have the new thing that they have to log into your account. So most of the time you all can look at this in real time because you have to get through the layers of logging into your account. So this is a part right here that most of us are seeing that maybe you're saying, hey, how do I get to this part that they're talking about? Well, you have to sign in with the ID.me. Some of us have got past this, but some of us have not. where we still have to deal with this ID.me because they are going to figure out how to verify you. And once they verify you in the system, they look at your EIN of your job, they look at your social, and they look at all these things at one time. That's how fast they're able to send the check. So it's giving you all this good update to the point which you're saying. I like to say that if it's an amended tax return, don't expect to go in direct deposit. If it's a direct filing, it will go in direct deposit on the 1040 side. We got Madutio, and we got Vince coming in after Madutio. I think Vince is coming in now.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Madutio.
How you doing? Like what you were saying, after you verify, and they're just pretty much trying to. They had to clear some things, but it wasn't nothing really major. And then they did release um, Department of Education. The other federal agency did mail me the refund for the 2022. Now, that was an offset that I never was supposed to have. That's why the U.S. Department of Education mailed the refund. Now, 2022 and 2023 is what I'm still waiting on. It was something about the interest for 2014 with the old years, but the 2024 they already showed me the breakdown of what it was all applied, and what the agent was saying is it was a $900 interest for 2014. I said, well, I looked at the breakdown that you already sent. You already took to 2024 paying those old years. The old years been paid already, and they showed me that. But now the situation is with the state. The state had an offset, but when I called them, the state of Michigan, they said they don't see an offset. I said, well, I got the letter here saying there's an offset for 23,000 for some of the old years. They said they don't have it. Called the IRS. I called the IRS. They said we don't know what the state system is. I said, well, they told me they don't see an offset. And I was on the phone with them a long time. So what do you mean you don't see an offset? I got a letter here saying state of Michigan uh, for the 2023, it was 8,300, but then they said they had to do adjustment, and it ended up being $7,672. And it says they was taking it, but the state said we don't see it nowhere in the system. So I thought that was kind of odd.
That's very interesting. I'm thankful that you're actually giving us this testimonial. So you're going into some of the things where the money was already supposed to come, but maybe the Department of Education thought that you still owe, but it showed that you didn't owe. But then the
But they,
check came from the Department of Education this time instead of the IRS. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, but it's the same treasury. They said you would never under offset. Your school loan was forgiven in 2019. I said I didn't get any paperwork saying my student loan was forgiven in 2019. They said it was a mistake that it was in the system and it was already pending all that time. So when they waited for you to do your taxes, your old years, because you know how to do 2020 to 2024, they said that this is why we're going to send you the refund because you was never offsetted. I said, but the letter, I'm reading the letter to you. They said that was a mistake. You already was forgiven in 2019 before the pandemic. So they sent it 2 weeks ago. They sent the refund for the entire amount that was then from the tax filing for 2022. 2023, they
Wow.
had to do adjustment with the interest. I said, the interest? I said, 2014, you already took the refund. Something's going wrong with their system too. They have a problem with their system because they said they had a problem in July. Then they had another problem September the 10th. Then they said, well, we seen when you came to the office September the 10th and verified your 2021. It was cleared the next day, September the 11th. It's going to take 9 weeks. So found out when I called last week, the 9 weeks is up. They said they mailed it Friday, 2023. They said they mailed that Friday already. I said, but the state don't have it in their system as an offset. But yet the representative, the IRS representative said, but we already mailed 2023 to you. I think I talked to her Thursday evening. And because of the shutdown, they said that never really slowed me down. That never did slow down. I was caught up in the middle of them finishing up in the shutdown. So since the shutdown ended, they said they mailed it. They said 2023, we're mailing that on November the, I think what was it, last week, last Monday, in 2021. So
Oh
then
man,
they
that's absolutely amazing. So you were able to catch up everything from doing it in 2024 all the way back to 2020. And you e-file all these, right?
no, it was no e-file. I mailed it off. They said you couldn't do an e-file those old years. I mailed that off in
So you,
April.
even though you e-filed it, you still had to mail it off again.
Yeah, I had to write duplicate and fax it. That
Mm.
actually helped. Actually, I did get the refund for 2024, but they applied it to the old years, like 2003, 2017, 14. They even paid the 2020. 2020 was paid. I'm looking
Mm.
at it on, I got the paperwork showing it.
So you telling me they're going as far back as they can to see if you owe any years, is what you're saying to me.
Well, they did. It's just that some type of interest from 2024. I said, well, you for 2014 was an old year, 2014. I said, you already got that. How could you not take the interest back then if you took the balance? Yeah, I paid all the old years. The old years I don't owe no more.
Mm-hmm.
Now the state sending a letter that they talking about they ain't got, but it came from the treasury. But the offset said Michigan Department of Treasury. They don't have it in their computer. They said we don't see no offset. I said, what do you mean you don't see offset? I'm looking at the letter right now. Just got the letter last weekend. So so the IRS. Then they told me, all the IRS, and the IRS said, look, we don't know what's on their system. We don't know why they told you that. All we know is we had to do adjustment on 2023, and it was so it's $900 less than what it's supposed to be. They did the adjustment. They said I didn't have to do nothing. They sent me a letter saying, don't do nothing. They sent me
Mm-hmm.
an education. Don't do anything. We may send a refund, we may not. This is what they said, but they already didn't send a letter, and I was already told that 2023 was mailed. It was mailed last Monday in 2021.
Mm.
They didn't say anything wrong. They didn't say nothing about no offset. 2021 is what I verified. She said, yeah, you verified. Actually, the representative told me, I got good news for you. She said, I got good news for you. It's just the mail. You just got to. We don't control the post office. I said, yeah, I understand that. And she sure said that. Only difference is they had to adjust 2023, and that was because of that some interest from 2014. I said interest.
No problem. So we got some great testimonials here. You're giving me something that works where people may run into that scenario too, where maybe the money is coming, but it's just being adjusted through the system too. So we're thankful for
And
that.
they
I think
send
we've
you the
seen
letter.
go
They
ahead.
say, Brother Wallace, they send you a letter and say, don't do nothing. You didn't did everything right. We already verified. We got the date. I said, yeah, I went to the office, and on September the 10th, and then it was clear September the 11th.
Hmm.
I said, and then they said, wait 6 to 9 weeks. So I'm just going. So that's right around this time. It should be. It might come before Thanksgiving. It might come in the first week in December. We the only thing they told me, we don't control the mail. I said, I didn't say nothing about no mail. That's them problem. And the state the one saying they don't see no offset, but I got a letter saying the offset for 2023 because they said because you owe 23,000 for the state. And then she said something about you got to do the filing because I had sent them a copy of the federal filings about 4 months ago. After I finished, they said, "Yeah, we see your sole proprietor, we see your Schedule K, Schedule C. We're looking at it." So they looking at it. We just got to wait for the mail.
Hmm.
And they said it's coming from Kansas City. I said, okay, okay. So I wanted to ask you, Brother Wallace, when can I do the fiduciary in the 2848? And I got an appointment at the Register of Deeds, 400 Monroe in Wayne County, to come to get the certified copy of the trust. I have an appointment for Wednesday at 2 o'clock, the day before Thanksgiving, because you have to make appointments to go to get the certificate. I mean, the certified copy of the trust that I had reported back way back in May. Real estate department. So I got that. I just need to certify copy of it. So I made an appointment so I can go get. And she said it was $24. It's $24, and I can come and get certified copy of the revocable trust.
All right, thank you for that. We're gonna get right into that too. I'm gonna do a one-on-one with you. I think we got Brother Vince. I know I seen his name popped up a few, maybe about 10 minutes ago. Brother Vince, is Brother Vince here? I think he's here. But when due TL to kind of make sure that we got everything clear, what you're saying is that you had no problems with the refund coming in. It seems as if the refunds were coming in. There was no problem with the IRS. Is that what you're saying?
Um, some of the representatives are very, very helpful. There was no problem with the refund, but if you owe, they gotta take it. One refund I did get in my hand. The ones that I owe for, clearly, you know, by law, they had to take what you owe. And that was what back in 2003, 2017. They took the old years, so it was good that I filed the 5 years. Um, the levy was only a couple months. So no, really, there's no problem with the IRS if you talk to the right representative. You just gotta wait for the mail, and then and if you got a balance, they're gonna take that. So actually, I have already got 3 of the refunds. 2 of them went to the balance. One of them came to me like a treasury check from the Department of Education because I was never supposed to have been offset. They got that in their system. Because I was already forgiven in 2019. They just don't communicate, those other agencies. And the state don't have it in their computer for 2023. That's supposed to be offset. I said, I'm looking at the letter. I just got the letter last week, but they don't see it in their system. They have computer issues. The IRS have computer issues, but it still really wasn't no problem. It's almost like it was easier dealing with the IRS than the state. I just wanted to get, once I get the certified copy of the trust, I think it's like supposed to be 5 steps or something. The brother Vince mentioned, I know one's got to go to the state attorney general. Is the other one the Social Security, and the other one uh secretary, wouldn't it? But oh, the IRS has to get a copy of the trust too, right? The certified copy. This is what I wanted to ask you, brother Vince. You,
What's going on? What's going on? Someone
how you
call my
doing?
name.
How you doing, brother Vince?
Hey, greetings, Vince. So I'm glad you came in. Absolutely, Brother Muduti. We thank you for your testimonial, man. You've helped us a lot, all the way to the point some people are listening to you. So just thankful for you able to get through those parts that you got through. But Vince, we were waiting on you to take the floor. Just wanted to kind of come in and with our testimonials right before you came in. And we're just thankful for anyone that's tuning in this time and anyone that's listening in to these thoughts. We just want to make sure that we're able to give our testimonials and our experiences.
So you said your student loan, they did a freeze, an offset on you for a student loan, but then you called them and they said there was nothing there?
There was nothing there. It was a mistake. It was pending. My refund was pending. When I got the letter, it was September. At the same time, 2 letters came. One saying it was pending. The pending was the refund that they had took. I would have already had got the refund if this Michigan Department of Education saying the school loan was forgiven in 2019. So they told me to wait till we send you the refund. So they sent me the full amount of the refund as if the IRS. It seemed to be, I thought it came from the IRS, but the same Treasury Department. The U.S. Department of Education have the same Treasury, have the same icon, letterhead, and everything.
So
And they said
how much was the student loan?
Think it was like 26,000, 28,000. It was already forgiven way back then. I never got no paperwork.
But they still charged you for it. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, they didn't,
Oh, okay.
because they didn't take the refund. They said it was never supposed that it was not never supposed to be rerouted to them. It was supposed to came straight from the IRS, but because it was still pending in the system, so many students, I had to wait till my turn till they got to me. It was always pending that there was no offset, but yet they
Okay.
sent me a letter saying offset, and they said, "Oh, that's a mistake." I said, "You mean to tell me it's not offset?" No, sir. No, it's no offset. You are, and then they sent me a letter saying total, because see, it's a disability, because I got injured. I got injured, so I'm on a total disability. So the Social Security contacted the IRS and said this is total disability. But what the other representative told me, it was already forgiven before my disability. 2019. I didn't get disabled until 2023. 2019, the year before the pandemic, it was already forgiven, but they never sent me a forgiveness letter. I didn't get the forgiveness letter until like maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah, there's other qualifiers that give you forgiveness as well. We'll go over into that in a later. But I'm glad you mentioned that if somebody's having student loan issues, those can be basically we'll call them written off, or like you're saying, offset for certain things that you owe if a refund comes in, right? But the key one is what you're saying is it was already disqualified from them taking the money because it was already forgiven. So that's a
Yeah,
good thing. So some of
it
us may
slowed,
have that situation.
it only slowed me down for about a couple of weeks because it would have come for the IRS or whatever, and then they saying, "Oh, you got to wait 60 days." The 60 days was really like 2.5 weeks.
Wow, we just had somebody. It's funny you came in later, right? We had someone that came in. Speaking of them waiting 60 days, they said they were going to
Yeah,
be waiting 60 days.
they'll tell you the maximum because that was before the shutdown was reopened, and they were going by the shutdown. That's what they were going by. The government shutdown, the IRS, they were going by that. Because see, right now, Brother Vince, Brother Wallace, 2021 and 2023 was already mailed off, and right when the government reopened, so it's pretty much a mail thing. It's because I had to go to the office and verify 2021. Once I verified it, they already cleared it the next day. I didn't even know that. The only offset left is the state of Michigan. They say it's not in their system. I got a letter from the U.S. Treasury showing in the middle of the page it said Michigan Department of Treasury and it had a phone number on it. So I called the Michigan Department of Treasury. They said they don't see no offset. I said, I got the letter here. I'm reading it off to you. It said $7,672.48 is going to y'all. They said, we do not see that in our computer. I said, well, I don't know what's going on. And then they said, call the IRS. They told me to call the IRS. As the IRS said, look, we don't know what the state doing. Only thing we mailed that refund off. That was last Monday. We mailed you the refund. So just gotta wait for the mail. I don't know what the state doing. They say I owe 23,000 for the old years. But then I think I sent them copies of my federal filing when I did the free tax USA, but I think I still have to do the state thing.
Oh,
So
apologies.
you,
I'm sorry,
so
brother.
you, so you owe the state of Michigan 23,000.
Yeah.
Does the
And
state
they
of Michigan, does the state of Michigan have an EIN number?
said, let's see, I don't know. They only put my social security number on there they might have one. They just put a letter in front of your social and they call that your account number, but I don't remember seeing the EIN, but I would like to find out if they do. I was just wondering what can I do about that.
Okay, once
And they
again,
put my account on hold.
every time somebody
I
sends
don't
you a
know.
bill, every time somebody sends you a bill, you have a beneficial interest in that bill. So if the state of Michigan
Yes,
sent you a bill, how much was the bill? You said 23,000,
23,000 and some change.
and it has an account number too, don't it?
It's a account on there, yes, but it's my social for the letter, and I think some other numbers on it. I don't have it with me, but I just got it last week in the mail.
No, the only thing that I'm
But
saying is they sent you a bill. The state of Michigan have an EIN on it. We already know that that bill's been securitized and apothecated, right? So we
right,
gonna pay the bill with the A and the two B's. You see where
pay
I'm
with the
going?
web level.
The 1099 A and the two B's.
Right.
Every time somebody
1099.
send you, every time somebody send you a bill, you gonna e-file that thing on off and get your
Right. I
beneficial
would.
interest out of that account.
Yeah, I would. I thought about the B. I said, well, I wonder if I could pay this with the B. But you say the A and two of the B's.
Right.
I would
Exactly.
like to. I would like to do that because they put the account on hold for 30. They put my account on hold to January the 3rd next year.
Yeah, it's time. It's time to get that out the way.
Yes.
Yeah, the state of Michigan does have an EIN number though, no doubt.
Yes, I would
Wait a minute. Don't
take
you
care
talk
of
to
that.
Chief? Don't you talk to Chief all the time?
Excuse me,
Don't you talk to Chief Iron Mountain all the time?
Chibo. What? I can't quite hear the name.
Chief Iron Mountain.
Chief Airman.
Iron Mountain. Oh, this must be somebody else. I thought this was I can't think of the guy's name.
Do
Cause
we
he's
go
from
by
Michigan
another
too.
name? Do we go by another name or something? Or
No,
so
no,
what
it's
is
just
this?
this isn't him, Vince. This isn't he hasn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
but just
okay.
can you continue with that with the info of the state? So for instance, let's say I'm dealing with the bill and I have a bill from like he gave an instance of state tax, right? Some of us may owe the state tax um along with the federal tax. So can you go into what you were saying a minute about the lender? That's what you're speaking of right here.
Right. So basically, to make a long story short, if the state of Michigan has an EIN number and they sent you a bill, you look up the EIN number and
Hmm.
then you do your A on it. Then you barter it with the B. You see what I'm saying? And then you make them pay you back your beneficial interest with the second B.
And then you do another B.
Yeah, that's what I said. I put the examples in there, y'all.
Right. That's all. Just yeah. I'm just repeating what you're saying. Yeah.
hmm
I
And I put
Right,
appreciate
right.
that.
and
Everyone
I put
isn't
the
in the Telegram yet, so we got to get more people to get into the Telegram. So that's another layer to
Oh,
see those actual forms. If you all are actually trying to get more details of how to fill these forms out, we're just going to be flying through a lot of
yes.
this information. But yeah, we have Kim. Somebody has their hand up. Go ahead, Kim.
Hmm.
Vance, what's up? It's Kimmy.
Kimmy, Kimmy, Kimmy.
TikTok. TikTok.
I'm trying to put it together. I'm trying to put it together. It's gonna
I know
come to
you
me.
deal with 100 people, but I did all of the I completed all of it back when you was giving it out last year, and I still haven't got nothing. So I was on here earlier talking about it, but this form is speaking about the revocable. Were we supposed to file everything with the revocable? Because that was never a part of what was advised.
Okay, so what I have to
The A and two B's.
right. That's dealing with your social security number.
Right, but that's what we was told to do. We kept I did, kept making sure that didn't have to do it with it originally. And it was advised no. So is it now that's what the case is?
Okay, so basically, like I said before, I used to do the 1041s too.
Mm-hmm.
But we had an insider, who works at the IRS and said the reason why your checks are taking so long is because the IRS is not getting their cut. So we went back to the 1040 like back in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Then everything started flowing again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, I mean, you could do a 1041, but my main thing is I'm gonna stick with 1040. And then when you really think about it, I only use my trust to protect me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna file on the trust because my trust has no income. It's just there to protect me. That's what I use to respond and communicate to anybody who sends me anything. It's coming from the trust. You know what I mean?
Okay. So my
I'm still
question is like what do I need to be doing? Because everybody is sitting up here from when I filed in April, I'm sorry, in March on the individuals, and they
okay.
keep getting the 60-day letters like I kept seeing in the groups. Nobody got no, and I was just telling them that they had froze it back in July, and then they unfroze it in October the 20th on the transcripts. So the money is sitting on the transcript.
Did you go verified yet?
Yeah, we did all that back in June.
And they still holding your check?
Yeah. Yeah. This is what I'm trying to figure out how to get it off. Because it's just sitting there.
Okay,
And
so the next time you go in there, fax your 1040 along with your 1099Bs that you got back from the corporation.
fax them where?
There should be a fax number when they correspond with you. Did you get your Did you get your second 1099B back from the corporation on their letterhead?
Yeah, we been got all that back. And I actually sent it in as a
This is
duplicate 1040 with it, but I mailed it. I didn't fax it. So I'm looking
all
for a
right.
fax number now.
All right. I'm about to give y'all address to send. Hold on.
And if y'all got a fax number too, because I don't see, I'm looking at these notices. I don't see no fax number. I'm looking at these notices. I don't see any fax numbers. Because I pulled it out when y'all started talking about that last week. And I don't see any fax numbers. It's a taxpayer, give us 60 days. Taxpayer, give us 60 days.
Right, like we said, it's something that you're having to communicate. Maybe if you call them, maybe if you speak to them more, like we had another testimonials that you have to put your due diligence in as fiduciary to speed up the process. There's different forms that we write letters in saying, hey, we need a response to this maybe within the next 20 days. There's funds that need to be paid towards expenses, blah, blah, blah. So these are things maybe that you should encourage yourself to do for the individuals, because a lot of them have to do that same communication on an individual level, each person that's waiting for their check.
They have to send a letter in saying what you just said. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. It has to be more than just waiting, right? They want to hear you say something, call them or something, right? Or this on the bottom of the pile. You got to think of it like that. They may have it, but it's probably on the bottom of the pile because Brother Madutiel just mentioned his testimonial about the checks coming in as well.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Didn't Constance just share with us something about that 60 days when they tell you take 60 days? Didn't you just share with us about something about that?
Yes, I did. I tried to look for a place to post a response that you can send out right away and then follow up with a phone call, but always call the, like what somebody else mentioned before, and I believe it was you that said that you should always call the business IRS line. But I can post an example. Should I just post it in the Telegram group? It's just a basic notice saying I can't perform my fiduciary duties. This isn't basically you're saying it's not working for me. It's a real simple response, but it worked for me.
Correct.
Does it have anything to do with the 911 form?
I haven't used the 911 form, but that's because when I was going back and forth with the IRS, when you do a remittance to the IRS, they do have stalling tactics. So, and one of their stalling tactics is a 60-day waiting period, but it's also so they can go through all the forms and make sure everything is correct. But there's specific reasons, you can actually say that's not going to work for me as a fiduciary. I'm sorry, but they're using the administrative procedure to respond to you. And if you stay silent, you agree to 60 days.
Exactly.
And it's no different than you sending an administrative procedure or a letter to a bill collector or to the IRS, because I'm in the middle of an administrative procedure right now with the IRS, and I'm actually on my notice of default because they haven't posted several remittances, but those remittances that I've submitted are being held in a separate treasury account. They have 3 accounts that they hold remittances under. They're being held. So they say frozen, but their procedures, they if kind of if they're testing you, those deposits go in, but they're there. They're there. Every time you send in a V, every time you send in a coupon, I'm just telling you, they all get moved. And what you can do is a FOIA request for, I believe it's IRC 670, is it, where they move the money? Does somebody know the IRC code for transmitting the negotiable instruments, or like the 1041 Vs or the 1040 Vs? I believe it's 670, but you can do a FOIA request and you can request all the 670 transactions that have gone through your account for, let's say, 2024 or whatever is posted. But those FOIA requests are magic, because if they send you the verification, now that's your receipt right there. That's your evidence.
Okay, I actually just did a FOIA too, sent a FOIA request 2 weeks ago. So that was just on me. But could you provide, if it's possible, if it's available, to provide that request or that response to them saying 60 days, keep saying 60 days, so that I can provide it to my people to respond on their own.
Absolutely.
Yes.
If anybody needs anything, I will post it. Like
Okay.
I always go by the IRC codes. So because they have to follow, the US Treasury
Yes, they
creates the
do.
IRC codes. So for the IRS. So it's kind of like their Bible that they have to follow. And somebody, tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. They do.
But all my letters to the IRS, I follow their procedure, and I find out what the procedure is, and I follow it to a T. And I mean, when I send in remittances, I send it right to the Bureau of Fiscal Service, because I know that's where they send them to. But
Okay.
my remittances that they post, the IRS has admitted they posted, but then there's I'm kind of in the middle where everyone else seems to be kind of at, which is they're holding the funds, probably because I have offsets or whatever else. But I mean, yeah, you just got to follow their procedures. But yes, I will post that letter.
That would be great. Much appreciated.
Oh,
Thanks.
no problem.
And I'm saying y'all need to be very careful with these negotiable instruments and remittances. The thing that I'm saying is, I just posted an address to the Philadelphia IRS. Start sending y'all notifications there, because that's for foreign nationals, and we are foreign to the United States. That's where we send our trust and everything. And once you send it to there, you're not dealing with the corporate bull crap. You see where I'm going? You're on a land now. So basically, I just posted it in the Telegram group. You send it there, and then they'll send your stuff back saying receive in a minute. You know what I mean? I bet you ain't heard a lot of people talk about that, huh? Now, about these remittances and stuff like that and negotiable instruments, you got to be very careful, because we had a person in our group 2 years ago who did a negotiable instrument. And basically, what happened is the men in black came knocking on her door. You know what I'm saying? They took all her stuff, because the stuff was fraud. People creating all these credits out of thin air is ridiculous. But the one thing that the officer did tell her, he said, "Who taught you how to do these A's and B's?" She said, "I looked at publication 1212." You see what I'm saying? Even though we know that, I taught her how to do it, but I'm just saying, he looked at publication 1212. That's what she told him. And he told her, if people find out how to do this, they will bankrupt the United States. Does that make sense, y'all?
I'm telling you.
Yeah, when you do instruments,
Yeah,
you
makes
cannot
sense.
put routing numbers on the instruments. You have to, if you're going to do an instrument, you have to understand how you've got to read USC. You've got to read, you've got to read everything.
Okay, so let's break it down, Constance. What did you do a negotiable instrument on?
I just did, what I did was I did for taxes. So I submitted some Bs and ESs.
Okay.
So, and I submitted
When
them
you did,
for,
okay, I want. Oh, what you submit them for?
For taxes for tax years 2017 through 2020, I think it was 2023.
So how did you file?
Well, that was my mistake because that's before I came to your group. But I filed a personal individual tax return and I didn't do the Schedule C. So they're all in limbo right now. And I'm going back and forth with them right now. And they sent me, we received your 3.4, we received your, they let me know they received all of them, for each individual tax year. And now I and what
And
I
how
did,
much is it? How much is it for? What's the total amount?
the total amount's 9 million.
Okay.
But I used to make a lot of money in my company. So I used to have a company before COVID hit that made a lot of money. So I was basing it on, before I lost everything. But so they said I owed a 250,000 tax bill from 2014. So, and this is before I came across your group. But and I started studying private banking because I actually wanted to start my own bank, and that's where I started from. But I'm kind of having to work backwards now because I realized that my procedures, I have to slow down. Like I'm slowing down right now. But yeah. So, anyways, but yeah. So then
So where did you get the 9 million from?
What's that?
Where did the 9 million come from? What did
That
it
was
derive from?
that was from the 1040 ESs and the 1040 Vs, and I endorsed them according to USC codes. I went into the IRM to find out
Hmm.
exactly what was needed, like what they were rejecting and what they were accepting. And I mean, I literally went through everything I could possibly think of to make sure I was doing it correctly. And then I had them I use the ESs because the ESs they they acknowledge the ESs where the V's they don't really talk about too much, but the ESs they say, if you receive an ES, do this. Here's the procedure that you have to take, and this is for the IRS employees.
Well, my thing is with them 1040Vs and them ESs and you claiming that they owe you this and they owe you that, what makes this process gold is the fact that we only file on what we can prove. And that's basically it. If you got bank accounts, bank deposits, you got credit cards, you got mortgages, you got student loans, you know what I'm saying? We only file on what we can prove and get our beneficial interest out of it. And what makes this very good is the fact that once you do the A's and B's on these accounts, the corporation is going to send you a copy of your second B back on their letterhead, which lets you know that they paid the taxes on it and you're able to move forward and file your taxes. So when it comes to the IRS, when you go in to verify, you bring your second B in there, and basically you're letting them know they'll look up the account number, they'll look up the EIN of the corporation and see that they paid the taxes on it, and they'll escalate your refund. It's just that simple. We only file on what we can prove, and we're not creating credits out of thin air.
Right. So that's what I said. I'm kind of working backwards right now because
If I was you, I would withdraw all that and start all over.
that's exactly what I was thinking about doing because it's too confusing right now. And yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of doing is electing to withdraw.
And you said you made a lot of money, so let's look at it like this: how much money you made? You got direct deposit, you got bank deposits, right?
Yeah, from 2020.
No, no, we going by the year. So you can only go 3 years back. All right. So what was your bank deposit amount? Give me an estimate for 2023.
It wasn't a lot because I've been studying this process and I kind of lost everything because of COVID, and I had businesses in California and they shut everything down. So I'm literally starting from scratch, but I was spending literally probably 18 hours a day studying this process
All
for
right.
probably 4 or 5 years straight. And
Any car loans, any credit
no,
cards, anything like that?
no, I'm not in debt.
Wow. You're the first American I've ever heard.
But the thing is like I'm also, I just started doing notary services, and I kind of wanted to fall off the map because, you know, I didn't want to get back in the system again, because the more I was learning about how corrupt the system was, I actually pulled back so far. But I just focused on studying. I focused on studying treasury procedures. I focused on studying.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you expatriate out the system too?
Did I what?
Did you expatriate? Did you
No,
denounce?
no, I didn't do that. I wanted to stay off the radar, but it was like I couldn't move forward. I was staying off the radar, right? My car's paid off. I don't have any credit card debt. But
Did you ever have a car loan?
yeah, before that I did. Yeah, I've had quite a few cars.
Car loans?
Yeah, yeah.
How much was a car?
I have a question. Do you have any open accounts right now at a bank?
Uh, so I just, after I got done speaking with you, I was using Apple Pay. And then what I did was, after I started listening to you, I opened up a sole prop. But it's not interest free, and it wasn't a savings account. I believe that's what one of your videos said. And and you said, don't keep any money in the sole prop account. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just put 25 in there, because they're going to charge me $15 a month. And I've been just kind of going step by step. And then Monday, I have a meeting at Chase to open up the revocable living trust account. So I'm doing that on Monday tomorrow at 11 a.m. And then, and I've already submitted my revocable living trust to the Social Security Administration. They already uploaded it and scanned it into their system. So, and I'm sending out all my packages tomorrow.
Yeah, I think what Vince is trying to ask is, do you have any accounts that show deposits? Do you have accounts?
No.
Because there's no way to get if you're actually living interest, would you say beneficial interest is coming from your social security card. So whatever accounts that you use with your social allows you to file the 1040. The social security card is an account. There's no way around. We say one using, let's say you get the EIN. You have to use the social to get the EIN to become a responsible party. So I think where you have to go at is where what Vince is trying to say, just on the simple base, whatever it costs, the bill that you get or whatever you're trying to use, even if you're off the grid, you still use the bill. So I hope that helps. But what I think you're trying to do is just use the bills. But if you're not in debt, this would be meaning that you don't have any debt, such as foreclosures, repossessions, abandonments. So that'll be true. A lot of us probably don't have debt, but if we do have these situations, or we are possibly going to get in this situation, then you'll fit in this category right here.
Yeah,
That's all I wanted to just chime in for that.
I was in debt now. Now I wish I would have accumulated debt. And
No, the thing is, you said you had car loans, right?
I did, but the last car loan I had was 2017.
And how much was it?
33,000.
Okay, so basically what's going to happen is we're going to order the CUSIP number on that car account. Once it comes back, that proves that it's still being securitized, right? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's do the math. We all know what these corporations do. They securitize a complicated trades and stuff on the stock market, right? They're
Right.
making all these gains off of that account. They're not reporting it to the IRS, and they're not paying you your beneficial interest. So let's do the math. What's 33,000 times 10?
330,000.
What's 24% of that?
Probably like 79, something like that.
There you go. So just off of that one account, that's $79,000 that you can report to the IRS.
I do have a question. I did go into a dealership once, and they literally kept calling me in because they kept making me sign separate contracts, 4 separate contracts. And then the last contract,
Was it for 4 different cars?
this is for another car, because I tried to get a truck because I had horses at the time. So the finance director literally had me sign 4 separate contracts. This was in 2018. This was actually 2018.
Wow.
And then the last contract, they said they made a mistake, and they came into my salon at the time, and she wanted me to sign another contract, and I said absolutely not. And I said, you know what, I'm dropping the car off with the keys. And I said, this is getting ridiculous. And so anyways, I dropped off the car and the keys, and the manager goes, she had you do what? And I go, she had me sign 4 contracts. And I said, I'm done. I go, I don't want the truck. I don't want it. So anyways, I left the truck there, the keys there. And then like a month later, Bank of America didn't refund my money. It was like $7,000 because they kept asking me for more money, And that's before I really knew about what was going on. And then they repossessed the car on the parking lot. So I got a message I forgot what it was from. I got a letter saying that they're repossessing my car. And I was like, what car? Right. So anyways, that happened. So I do know that every contract is a security instrument. So,
Only thing I need you to do, you need to repeal all that stuff you did with the IRS, because you're gonna get in trouble. And you need to just start small and start all over again.
okay, that's
All
fine.
all of that 1040 V's and ES stuff, that Kim Marie stuff, that, y'all gonna get in trouble.
Yeah,
That's
that's actually where I originally got it from, was the Kim Marie.
I know you got it from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where you got it from.
Yeah,
I'm just,
and honestly, like, I got it, but I was like, something's not right with this, and I'm like, this it shouldn't be this difficult. That's when I found you guys. I said, these guys, this is right. This is right. The green light just said go. It just said go. Like the other processes that are out there, they it they just didn't seem right to me. They just didn't.
mm-hmm. And it's a sad shame of y'all, because these people got y'all doing so much stuff that does not make sense at all.
It really doesn't. And
This state national and secure party creditor and all
yeah,
this other stuff. The only thing that should be mattering is that you're separating your name as being a living man or woman. That's it. That's your status, is being alive. Because the corporations can only deal with corporations. And until you kill that presumption that you are not that corporation, they will always be your papa. You know what I mean?
right, right.
So if I was you, I would repeal all that stuff you did with the IRS and start from scratch. Period.
Yeah, that's just what I pulled up. I said you can reelect to because instead of amending every single return, which I was going to do, um I I just said it. I was like, I wish there was a way just to cancel it. And sure enough, I found that you can reelect to I think the word is cancel, or to um what is the word that you used?
Is to
Repeal.
withdraw.
There you go. There
You
you go.
withdraw.
There
You can
you go.
elect to withdraw what you did.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I think that is like some of the best advice out there if you got caught up in Kim Marie's group, for sure.
And there's so many people who got caught up because she got thousands and thousands and thousands of followers doing this stuff. And you know how many people come to us asking for help, and the first thing we say, you got to start from scratch.
Yeah.
You know, never sit up there and try to create credits out of thin air, because when the IRS say prove it, you cannot prove it. Now, can you?
No, you can't.
You gonna tell them, well, according to Kim Marie, I got 9 million on my trust account.
I know. No, people are they're getting lots of credits out there, but again, it didn't make sense to me.
And
So,
then for the ones that did get those credits, let's wait 3-4 years, see what happens. You know what I mean?
right,
You might have it now, enjoy it, but when they come back for it, it's gonna be a problem now, isn't it?
right.
All right, that's all I'm saying. We just gotta be careful out in these streets. We only filing what we can prove, y'all. We only filing what we can prove. What's up, Chief?
What's going on? I was trying to be quiet, but I knew the word. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Thank you guys
Greetings.
for accepting
Greetings.
me into your Zoom. I have joined your Telegram group. I'll be able to come in back and forth, maybe answer questions, help out a little bit. I am Chief Iron Mountain. It's a pleasure to be here. I can help you guys with all kind of things. I am no guru. I do not know it all, but I do know a little bit about a lot.
Thank you, Chief. Can you give us a background of just a quick testimonial? Since we've had a lot of
Oh,
people coming in with some testimonials, glad to meet you as well.
ooh, where do I start? Oh my.
You
Okay.
know what? Hey,
So,
hey, Chief, I
huh?
wouldn't even do that. Just drop Jeremy. Is you in? Oh, everybody, this is my team, Chief Iron Mountain and Jeremy. I just brought him along. You know what I'm saying? We've been building, we've been rocking for a long time now. Matter of fact, Jeremy, what Zoom was that where everybody was coming up with their testimonials?
It was the one we were doing Friday.
Was that the court cases and getting people out of jail and stuff like that?
Yeah. Are you talking about the time? Oh, good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Good evening, brother. Freeway
I think it
Mechanics.
might have
That's
been the
what.
town hall. Yeah, that's the brand, that I try to put out there everywhere we go, Vince got some powerful stuff, so we want people to see the logo, get it in their minds, and associate Vince with the freeway. As many people as he's gotten back on the road to success, man, it's amazing.
Yeah, and Wallace, these are they know you from the videos that I showed them back in the day. So they know
Oh
you,
yes, man.
they know you
Thank
day
you.
one.
Thank y'all, man. I appreciate all of y'all. We're all building together with this, and this is great that we're all able to give each other credit. This is something that I'm learning in this trust process that we call a process. As you know, I don't like to say it's a process, but everyone seems to give everybody credit. I noticed that when you get into the revocable trust or into the trust studies.
A funny thing, I think A Chief and Jeremy, I think 2 weeks ago I came on and was talking about the A's and B's, and I'm like, Wallace, you forgot more than what you know. I got a video of us doing the A's and B's. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's really going on? Wallace done forgot more than what he know. You know what I'm saying? You seen that video, right? You seen
I
that?
seen it.
Mm-hmm. Me, you, and Caesar Wallace. Remember that? 2020, 2019.
Man, I actually remember that now because I forgot. Like, it's so much stuff we've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I totally remember now. When you talk about with Caesar, what happened
Yep.
to Caesar because he was doing. This is what I got from Caesar. I was learning the INTs. That's what I was on with, and I was doing that as well.
Well, in
But
the video, he was filing on his estate EIN. He got it back. But remember, they froze his account because he used a 98 number.
oh,
Remember that 600,000 they took from him?
mm, yes, I remember the nine
And
eight
we was
thing.
trying to we was trying to get him right. We had to start all over again. But he was filing on that universal tax credit, and he was filing on what else was he filing on? I forgot.
Yeah, the insurance that you get every year, the
Yeah.
universal life credit every year, which is
You know
true.
what? We're gonna have to go over that video again, y'all, because that was a gem.
hmm Every year you're allocated a gift attached amount every year. I believe
Hmm.
it's.
I think it's up to 13 million now. But you have to be in your proper position to claim that, y'all. Like your trust and your power of attorney and stuff, you got to put that on your IRS transcripts. You got to send that stuff to the IRS to let them know that you are alive. You know what I mean? We have to let them know that the trust is involved and we're not that corporate fiction, because if we don't have the power of attorney on that account, when you do these A's and B's, the corporation can turn around and correct your A's and B's, and then you get a tax bill. Is that making sense?
hmm But some people are new to
And
this, so why don't we go jump into that? I think Chief Mountain was gonna give us an intro
well,
to that.
Well, what I was gonna say was I am the one that's connected to Base. Gordy is already in your Telegram group. And Base has been with me a long time. We kind of lost contact for a couple months. Oh, I ain't gonna say lost contact. Well, I guess so. I've been busy with the freeway. He been busy, and he been, busy in your group as well, trying to learn some other things. But he can speak to the rest of the group as to who I am. But you want me to get my intro? It's all good. Here I come. Here I come with it. I ain't never scared.
Let's
It,
go.
the word says be ready. So ye be ready. You never have to get ready. So I'm always ready. But for me in this space, I became a part of this space of knowledge when I was going through a foreclosure. Um, and that was back in 2008. I found myself in a foreclosure. I was out minding my own business. I was a mail lady delivering my mail, wasn't bothering a soul. But one of my customers, he had a P.O. box. So I never really delivered mail to his house. But he offered lawn care services. So I would see him throughout the neighborhood cutting grass, but I would always park in front of his house. Now his wife and his kids would be out. Maybe he'd be out, maneuvering around in his grass. But I would always speak to them, and that was about the length of it. This particular day, it was a Saturday morning. It's early. I'm out bopping on my phone, and so I went to deliver some mail at his house because it said current resident. It was from Bank of America. I ain't think nothing of it. When stuff say current resident, leave it at the house, keep moving. His name on it, put it in the PO box. But I delivered this mail. And as I'm walking up the block, I probably get about 4 or 5 houses away from his block. I mean, away from his house. He was like, he knew my name. He like, Demeter. He calling me. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? He was like, I want this. I said, well, it say current resident. I got to leave it at your house. He was like, I don't want nothing from Bank of America. I said, well, what you mean? We going through this. And he get to telling me about, you ain't seen the data. I'm like, what data? And I'm telling him about my foreclosure and maybe he want to look at his stuff. He like, no, what day you got available? I said, Tuesday. This time I'm locked into the church. I'm dancing in the choir. I mean, I'm singing in the choir. I'm dancing with the dance ministry. I'm running the bookstore. I mean, I'm locked in. He like, you got Tuesdays open? Okay, well, come through after work. I ain't feel no type of way. Your wife there, your kids there. I'm gonna come through. He like, bring your mortgage documents from your closing. I said, bet it up. So I go over there and I'm gonna stop right there and just tell y'all I graduated from one of the top high schools here in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So I've always looked at myself pretty smart. I didn't go to college. I went to the post office right after, but I've always looked at myself as being pretty smart. Okay, now I'm gonna start my story back. When I get over here and we going through these documents, and he asking me what these words mean, and he breaking out this Black's Law Dictionary, telling me, okay, now read that definition. I realized I was pretty fucking dumb. Like, damn, bamboozled me. So we started working a process, like you said, not wanting to call it a process, but he started teaching me every Tuesday I'm going. I rescind the mortgage. I do a couple other people, the few other people, they houses just free and clear, including my mama. You know, her house free and clear, mortgage company that went away. But they knew that me and him was helping people because at this time now I done started learning. Now I'm helping him. I'm bringing people. We getting people houses. But me and him go through the foreclosure. They come at us. We both got Bank of America and they come for us. We both get evicted. But I'm talking to y'all out of the same house they evicted me out of because I did not stop learning. You put me out, I made my way back to freak home and didn't owe nobody. And then that's when I started to understand, okay, now it's something else you need to cure. You work for the fucking middleman. I'm out here delivering the lies every day. And it was weighing so heavy on my soul, y'all. Because now I can't get this mail delivered for I'm out here with a foreclosure notice or a debt collection notice. And I'm trying to tell these people, y'all know this is illegal. Because now I done made it back home and now I see what it is. So now I had to pray my way up out of that. So I retired in 2019. And this is what I dedicate myself to doing. I get up every day, turn this computer on, teach myself some more things, help people along the way. And I enjoy it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So if you ever, search my name, you're going to see my trademark, but then you will see all these court cases with me and Bank of America. And I learned a lot along the way. I can say in the beginning, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was paying him to do my paperwork, still trying to learn. But when he couldn't help me no more because they came after him at the same time, now we both in court. He like, I can't do your paperwork. You got to do yours. The bird got kicked out the nest. And that's when that bird started digging in and I started understanding it so much more. You know, it started sticking to me to where he never made it back home. But I did, because now I'm learning and my paperwork just took a whole different course of its own because it was my energy going into my paperwork. So I made it back home and he never made it back home because guess what? The teacher didn't want to listen to the student. So I understand that everybody have a voice because you never know what you could learn from the person you thought you were teaching. Because had he listened to me, he probably would have been back home. Instead of him listening, he kind of got mad at me. And I didn't talk to him for years. We bumped into each other a couple years ago. And now he got an open ear to me, whereas his ear was closed to me before. So never put down the messenger either, because you may think you're helping somebody and teaching somebody, but you never know what you've taught them. You don't know what they gonna go out and learn. So always be teachable, always be coachable. And that's just my message to y'all for real. But again, I don't know it all, but I've studied a whole lot of stuff so I can answer questions about a whole lot of things. And that is who Chief Iron Mountain is. Hello?
Let's go, Chief.
All right.
Hey, that's a great
Yes.
impactful testimony. Thank you for that, Chief. I like how you have the name as a brand and everything. It's a wonderful way that you started in. I like your testimony because you showed me that you actually left the corporation in your testimony. You became unincorporated. It seemed that you was able to fully get out at a certain point. So I wanted to kind of tone into that part of your testimony because I thought that was interesting that you said that you were willing to leave everything you had and go over to the trust as well as help other people with it. And now you're right back doing the same thing. So
Um, well, what I started in the beginning, I was running away from trust, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. You know, trust kept coming at me and I was running because it was like I could read it. For some reason, I didn't think I understood it. So I was running. In the beginning, I started offering debt collection services. So I was helping people clear their credit reports. So, and I done a lot of it and I liked it, but it came to a point where I was like, I ain't doing this no more. And you know how people make New Year's resolutions talking about they gonna lose weight. It was just one particular year. I said, start January 1st. I ain't cleaning nobody else's credit. I'm done. Y'all gonna have to do that yourself. I'm done. So what I wanted to dig into was I said that I was going to learn banking. I wanted to know the banking side. I've helped people do a lot of stuff, and I've gotten different testimonies from people, and it was just it. I won't say it was becoming overwhelming, but I was in a space where the people around me, my clients, my family, my friends, they were having more testimonies than me. So I'm like, well, why is my stuff working for everybody else, but not me? And then I had to realize that I was the problem because as long as I said that, it never was going to work for me because I kept putting that out in the atmosphere. So I had to change what I was saying. Not only does it work for others, but it's working for me. So everything started working for me, but I still needed to learn the bank. Like, okay, I'm over all these laws and stuff. I done dug in all these law books. Like, I need the banking part. I got the knowledge, but my bank account don't match my knowledge. I need banking. So y'all, somebody called me and was asking me did I know anything about 1099Bs around
mhm.
like maybe September, October. So I said, well, let me look. I'm pretty resourceful. I got a lot of resources. The files on my computer run deep. Because a lot of times I get things before it's my time. Before I even understand it, I got all kind of stuff in this computer until I'm reminded of what I have, and then I go back and look, and now the thing that I thought I didn't understand when I got it, I can understand better because now I've been on the road to learn a little bit more. But however, they say, you know anything about these 1099Bs? I said, nah, let me look at my computer. Let me see what I could dig up for you. I'll call you back. So I look at my computer, found a little stuff, but not what I really, wanted to share. So I look in my Telegram. Let me go search 1099B. Lo and behold, I find this conversation between me and somebody that's real cool. This is November of 24, October, November of 24. I'm saying that because I want y'all to know October, November of 24. I find this conversation where someone had sent me 2 videos, but they sent me these videos March of 2023. I've been helping so many people and I wanted to learn banking, not knowing that my answer had been sitting in my Telegram for a year and a half because I never got the time or I didn't remember to go back and watch these videos. And y'all, the videos was 2 videos of Vince. Okay? 2 videos of Vince classes. And I said, well, let me watch this before I go to tell them. Let me sit and watch it myself. Y'all, those videos blew me out the water. I had a small Telegram group at the time. Now I'm waiting on them to get off work because they need to watch these videos with me. I need to know if they saw what I saw. I'm looking for this dude, Vince. I'm Googling him and can't find nothing about this man, y'all. And I was pretty irritated because I normally can find some stuff, but I couldn't find nothing. So fast forward February, I meet Vince. Well, I got in that Kim Marie group and found everything else. So fast forward, I meet Vince. I'm coming in as a newcomer. I'm coming to learn because I think this the banking I needed to learn. I'm coming in, shit, I'm trying to sit in the back of the class like y'all. I'm trying to absorb. About a week or 2 later, I'm in the front of the class, not where I intended to be. Because again, I'm going to remind y'all, always be coachable, always willing to learn. So my heart came willing to learn, willing to be coachable. Not saying that I hadn't helped people from 2013 all the way to 2024, helping them get remedy, but I didn't come over to the group like I knew it all. I didn't come over to the group like I didn't need nothing from them. I came to the group to learn, to be coachable. Okay. So, however, I made it to the front of the class and here I am. Now I'm part of the team. And that ain't even what I was looking for. But this is where I ended up.
Hello,
I was
is it
looking for
me
you.
you're looking for? What about you, Jeremy?
Oh, what y'all want to know? I mean, Chief laid out her story.
I mean,
What
that's
y'all
my
want to know?
story, though, Jeremy. That's
I,
my story.
I,
What's
I,
yours?
I,
That's my
oh,
story.
sh- my story. I started diving into stuff back in 2017 when my youngest son was born. Because when I had him, we were living in an apartment with no furniture, and I said, "It's got to be more to life than this because I'm working 16 hours a day just to pay rent. The bills are paid up for the year, but I'm only working all these hours just to pay rent. And there goes my paycheck. Then, my pregnant wife still has to walk. So I don't know if some of you guys have heard of Harvey Dent. If you guys remember him, 2017,
Mhm,
2018, Moto Proprio guy
Yeah, I remember
was
mhm.
him.
paying his dog on Nissan. Yeah, I started.
Yeah, I remember that,
Yep.
man. They was using the lesser bank method. You remember that?
Uh-huh. Shit, I
Wow.
did it.
That's
That's
some
why I
good
got
stuff. That
into it.
was
Because
way
like I
back. I
said, I got to
remember
be
that. They disappeared. Like it's just then you couldn't find those sites no more.
exactly. And he disappeared too. Because at that when he started getting success, then he started getting pushback. And then that's when they started coming after him. But yeah, I started off with that guy in 2017, and then it just kind of snowballed. I've been through the private banker stuff. Uh, been through a little bit of Patrick Devine stuff when his stuff kind of resurfaced in 2020 during the pandemic, and I just been trying different methods. Always been on the cyber stuff. In 2020, 22, I went through the state nationals and the Von Rights. I got my ID card and things like that. But I never went full retard when it came to that. The only thing I ever cared about was just getting the alternate ID and just getting the paperwork. But after that, I mean, did the UCC one, lean the debtor, and I was up on somebody's live, Tanaka's live one night, along with B Wade and a few other people, and we were just shooting the crap, talking about different processes we learned, and Vince came up. This was November 23. Vince came up and he told us he had a let's talk about it group. So I joined it. I'm not opposed to learning different things. I joined it. We had a conversation. Vince would do weekly calls then, and I listened to everything Vince said. I didn't have not one question. I listened to everything he said, and I got everything he said to do done within 3 days. As far as filing a trust, doing all my paperwork, because I could read the paperwork and understand it. And I came back and I was like, because I had a court case going on at the time, and Vince told me exactly what to say. And I sent the certified copy of the trust to the clerk of court, and I said those specific words. And to jump back a little bit to give you context, I met Vince in 23, November 23. I had the court case in the summer of 22, going into August of 22. I had been asking for over a year for the judge's bond information.
Okay.
I was looking for the bond information because I wanted to, do my own process with that. And I'm pretty sure you guys remember when that used to be a big thing. Well, you have to get their bond and their oath of office, and then you got to lean in. You can go to your risk management and put a lien against it. And none of that bullshit worked. I did what Vince said to do. And mind you, the clerk of court had been giving me the stiff arm for a year. She gave that MF up in 5 minutes after she saw that email. All off of what he said. I didn't ask, like I said, I didn't ask Vince no questions. I just did what he said to do. And it worked. Been rolling with him ever since. In his groups, trying to keep a lookout, making sure people ain't doing nothing stupid. And next thing I know, people hit me up left and right. Well, what about this and what about this? And I'm like, we in the same class. Why are you asking me? But it just kept coming, just kept asking me stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. This is what you do here. This is what you do here. Well, you got to read this. This is what this is saying. And next thing I know, like Vince gave me a call one day, because I would never call Vince. And this is the crazy thing. Like, there's so many people that blow Vince's phone up, but I would never call Vince. And he would always call me. And he said, "Oh, well, you in the crew now." I said, "Oh shit." I ain't even realize it. I thought I was just, I thought I was just looking out, looking out for the group, just looking out for Vince. So
These my ride or
ever
diers,
since
y'all.
we,
These my ride or diers. I done cleaned out my closet many times. Many times. Each year I gotta clean out my closet. But I finally found my ride or die. You know what I'm saying?
That's good, Vince.
The three amigos.
Yep.
Will you share what those things that you said to the judge, or what you were what it was that you were told to be to share, to ask the judge?
I spoke to the clerk of court, I never spoke to the judge directly. Because when the court case came on, like I said, all I had was my UCC one. This is before I met Vince. I had my UCC one, a power of attorney I had just got, because I went through. No, it wasn't Harvey Dent. What's the other guy's name? He's a light skinned dude. I can't think of his name right now.
What? Hold on, Wallace. Is that Telegram
Quasimodo.
group locked down? Wallace, is the Telegram
No, I
group
don't,
locked down?
no, I don't. I mean, you have admin. I add you as admin as well. It's not locked. If they add in, you should be able to. It probably is when you did that setting earlier. It's probably something going on.
Okay, let me see.
The setting, but I'll look into that. But the key thing is, as he's giving that testimony, you mentioned Harvey Dent. I remember that information too, where they was doing the Federal Reserve and you're using the Social Security number, and we
Yep.
found out the Social Security card was actually a bank. Because some people say I want to get into the banking system, and I always say you are the bank. So therefore, if you get away from the bank, you can start seeing how to utilize the treasury more. But yeah, that whole entire system was very difficult to kind of keep going because they always reverse everything after a while.
Well,
Even though we have evidence and all this stuff. So I thought that was
well, at that time, you're dealing with people that didn't have the access they thought they did. They were doing what a lot of people have been doing since 2000s and 97, the Matrix and shit like that. They've been doing this. I'm going to make this assertion, but when these companies come back and say, okay, what's your stand-in? These people don't have POAs on file. They say everything's private. Okay, well, you can't look at private documents. So how are you going to actually assert that this document is real? Mind you, these people they don't even register mail it to themselves, so that there is some type of number to reference. So if you don't even have a POA, especially in their system, like with Vince's process, or if you don't have just a standard POA, or even a doggone security agreement, where the heck is your standing coming from? And that was the whole issue with the process. When you're going and doing these things, because what me and Chief have found out, they got forms for everything. And these forms is how we communicate with them to let them know who has power of attorney over what. And they're not going to deny you. They just need to know. And that's the issue with all of these processes. You're saying it's yours, but there's no authority on record or declared. And they don't operate like that. The moment you open a bank account,
and that's the point. That's why we say a delegation of authority, right?
Yeah. Delegation of authority or power of attorney.
I know a lot of people think about the Form 56, so it sounds to me like you're saying Form 56.
I have a few forms that come in there.
Oh, we got Raymond
like Form 231.
Yeah, Form 2. Raymond Allen had a hand raised. What was your comment? You got Brother Raymond?
So I have a question. So whenever you execute the certified copy of the revocable living trust, you should put the POA with it automatically, or you just have to update it correctly at the 3 places with the POA, with the certified trust every time.
But you should have a POA anyway. As far as the trust goes, that's a document that you need to show your status as being fiduciary when it comes to the trust. Like he pulled up the 56 a little while ago. There's a portion on that 56 that asks, I'll get that in just a moment, real estate. There's a portion on that form that asks, well, what is your basis? Is asking, where do you get this fiduciary authority from? And then it has an option for trust documents. And you just check that box and just send a trust stamp at 56. But they have plenty of other forms, they you can do some with the treasury, some with the some with the Federal Reserve that you can do. And real estate chick, to answer your question, so everybody should know Vince's famous line. You go into court, and I typed this directly to the clerk of court. I said that name, and I put the all caps name there. It's trustee of a revocable living trust, but the trust accepts all charges. I need to get your EIN to your corporation so that I can assess the taxes on this court case. And she's never responded to me same day, but she responded to me same day as soon as she got that email and that trust. And she said the judge doesn't have a bond, but she does have an oath of office. And the oath of office had just expired the year before. So I hope that answers your question, real estate chick. And I
Oh, thank you, man. These are amazing testimonials.
Yes, that answered my question. Thank you. Is it possible, like, we can get that in a comment? I know somebody was writing down the information before.
Okay, so let's break it down.
Are you asking for the wordage to use?
Yeah, that he said again.
This is what I need y'all to do. y'all have been blessed because Wallace is my day one. See what I'm saying? I put the videos in that group. That's why I asked him, was it locked down? It is locked down. I need you to watch those videos. It'll answer all the questions you need answers. It's me, Chief, and Jeremy giving class.
Okay, this video is gonna be in a group?
It's in the Telegram group.
Okay,
Wallace's
all right,
Telegram
thank
group.
you.
Okay?
Hey, one thing
What's it?
about the group, can you please allow us to see the
I got Raymond. Raymond got his hand raised in EI. Oh, go ahead, EI. I'm sorry, EA, not EA.
No, I don't
So
speak out of turn. My bad. Can you just please allow previous posts on Telegram so we can see what you're talking about, Vince? Thank you.
I just dropped them in there. The video's in there.
For the newcomers, we couldn't see beyond our access point, right? But that's all good. I'll check it out.
No,
Thank
wait. No, wait till your phone should update in a minute. Yeah, but
I know what he's saying. He's saying when you did the update, it stopped them from seeing the past, is what he's saying.
no, I just put them in there a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I see it now. Thanks, bro.
Mm-hmm. Now, what y'all need to do is, like we need to get off this Zoom and y'all need to watch those videos for next week. You see what I'm saying? It'll answer every question that y'all have. Then we can do a Q&A. You see where we're going? It goes over everything. Chief
Correct.
goes over
Exactly.
the trust.
That makes it easier to get.
Jeremy goes over the 456 and all the other good stuff. Look, everything y'all need is right there.
And a couple people had, side messaged me asking how they can get to me. I shared it in this chat, but I also went in the group and shared it on my TikTok page and my email. And I share my TikTok page because in case you look for me on TikTok, there are a couple pages pretending to be me, Vince, and Jeremy. We each have some people out there that are recreating our pages. So that's my original page. So if you get a message from someone, I don't send out messages first. Neither one of us send out messages. Vince is not on Telegram, on TikTok, but me and Jeremy do not send out messages first. So do not accept any messages from anyone sending you an inbox. But I did share where you can get to my TikTok page.
Okay.
Great. So duplicate. We got Merlin, Rainbow Sparks had a quick hand up. Then we got Raymond Allen. I'm sorry, Raymond Allen and then Merlin.
Oh,
Raymond
hold
Allen
up,
first.
but before we do that, I gotta roll out. But just to let y'all know, Chief and Jeremy, you know what I'm saying? They are me. You know what I'm saying? We've been through the trenches together, so they are me. So if y'all got questions in Wallace, we all been building. You know what I'm saying? All together. Let's get it.
Absolutely, man. I know I've been working with you. You
Yeah,
listed as the instructor. That's why we got you in the Zooms, of course.
yeah. So
Oh, so you
like I
got to
said,
roll out for this week?
yeah. I'll see y'all next Sunday if we don't have a class or anything like that. But I think we clear for next week, right, y'all?
I think we clear. We're gonna watch through the video, like you mentioned, so everyone understands the full in and outs. Getting
Right.
back to scratch. That's what we were saying just a moment.
Yeah, we'll
All
click
right.
for next
We
week.
clear for next week, Jim? Okay, cool. So we'll come up next week. But y'all homework is to watch those videos. Then answer the question. Then ask the questions. Because if you watch the videos, it'll answer mostly 100% of y'all questions. Make
True
sense?
indeed.
Now
True indeed. Yeah,
y'all should feel privileged because people pay $300 for them videos. Okay, just let y'all know.
absolutely. That's right. That's why we try to tell everybody come to the Sundays. It's free info. The Monday through Friday, we're open with the IRS and the government, but that
You
time,
kind of went out.
unfortunately,
You
it's not free for Brother Vince and myself or other people. I'm sorry. Can you hear me well? My mic is going out, right?
Yeah, it kind of went out.
Yeah, just unfortunately, Monday through Friday, our times are not as available through those days because the IRS is open, the government's open. So we got so many things going on. So Sundays are our times that we try to give out freely, is what I was just basically illustrating.
And what I'll do is I'll post a video in there too of me, you, and Caesar going at it. You know what I'm saying?
That's great,
back
man.
in the day when we was young and not a kid anymore.
Yeah, man.
The
Yeah, I was
Telegram
gonna
group
say
link.
we got a couple of hands that was in, and but you got to go out, brother Vince. I know. So we'll continue on just to kind of give everybody a chance to get their thoughts and comments out. If you have to slide out, Vince. But thank you
All right,
for all the encouragement you're giving us and getting us ready with the 1099 A's and B's and so on.
all right. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Thanks, Vince. Appreciate you coming in.
All right now.
Okay, we got Raymond. You had the hand up. I wanted to make sure everyone gets the chance, and then we had after that what was it? What was the other person?
Merlin.
There we go, Merlin. There we go. I see.
So I was just trying to get clarity on the POA, but I think he didn't know I already have one. So I already have one with the trust, and I was just trying to see if I just needed to put the POA on record with the clerk. That's basically what I was trying to ask.
Right, right. Based on the I don't believe you have to put it on the record, the 2848 itself, because remember he's saying you're giving POA to each person, I think, right? I'm sorry, you're giving the trust to each person, the certified copy of the trust.
Right.
So we're gonna give you all another one that you need to do is the 2848. I send in the trust. So there's two 2848s that I do personally. I don't just do one 2848. I actually do two of them.
So 2848 is power of attorney and okay, the declaration of representative. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we have to have this. Everyone needs to make sure they have understanding that they have this.
And that just registered. Is there a form for the trust itself or just mail it in?
The form for the trust is this form, Form 56.
Oh, that's why he keeps saying the 56. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother form. But we're just sticking with the social right now. We're sticking with the 1040 for this week to kind of give you all where you want to start. And we may have been on different paths, but now we're meeting back on this path so we all can get back on the same place. Go ahead, Merlin. We got Merlin Rainbow wanted to get his thought in. Brother Raymond, I see you want to get his hand in as well.
Yeah, thank you. I did have a question about the power of attorney. I did complete the 2848, 56, and also the 8821. And I did send those to the IRS, but I did not send those to the Attorney General or the Social Security Administration. And I have not filed that on any cases. And I also watched a video that stated something about doing a state general durable power of attorney. And I didn't really know if we ought to be making our own, or like me right now, I'm in Utah. Would I just find Utah's file and fill that out? And do I record that on the county before I serve the certified docs to the court, or do I even have? Am I overthinking it? Am I going too far? Like, is the 2848 and the 56 enough?
Right. So all alone, let's say one has the revocable living trust. If you have that, you are able to likely mail it to the IRS or fax it to them. The other one is you may have a durable power of attorney or whatever power of attorney you may have. We like to say it's the general durable or financial power of attorney. There's other power of attorneys like the financial power of attorneys too. So this is where they tell you to mail this. They tell you where to mail this power right here, where to file your chart. And you got to do exactly what they say. If you're in another state and you send it to the wrong location, they may not get it. So you have to go through certain states, certain locations. And so, like you say, Utah, right? So Utah is over here, but they're telling you you need to send it to Ogden. So you can't send it to this one. If you send it to that one, it's going to be the wrong address. So you have to fax it here, or you have to send it here.
And so I take the 2848, the 56, and the
No, no,
certified
no. It doesn't
copy. No,
say. So you can't
no.
do that. So you can't send more than what they ask. It's another thing that you all may mess up with the IRS. If the IRS did not ask you to send it, don't send it. Sometimes it's too much information. They're like, hey, why are you sending me a 56? I'm trying to process your 2848. This isn't the trust department. We're going to mail that document over to another department, yada, 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 right? So you all just learn this as a lesson. You want to make sure that you do exactly what they say, fax the exact information they say on the form to the location. I like to say you should update your power of attorney maybe every other year. I like to say every 2 years, every year. You can always redo it and just fax it again, or mail it. So I hope that answers the question for both Brother Raymond and for you, Merlin, about this authority, because you all have to have the revocable living trust to even feel like you have this authority. So this isn't just having a power of attorney that is outside of the revocable living trust. Also, we're not saying your power of attorneys don't work. We're just saying, do you also have the revocable living trust, the actual instrument?
I filed it a few weeks ago and have multiple certified copies, and I have mailed it to the IRS, the Social Security Administration, and to
Correct. Correct.
Attorney
When you
General.
say you have mailed it, right? How are
And now
you?
I'm questioning if I sent it to the right address even. So if they got it.
That's what I'm trying to ask these questions, right? So did you
Yeah.
follow the instructions the way the IRS says to send the revocable living trust?
No, I guess I nope. I can just, if it went to the right place, it would have been a long shot. But
Okay.
yeah, that would be
It's
great.
very
This is
important,
good
you all.
information.
It's very important, you all. Whoever's listening, all of us is listening for this. You have to make sure you send the revocable living trust to the correct address.
Wallace, where do you send it to? You should send it to the correct address of the IRS. Where do you send the revocable living trust to? Which address?
Correct. So that's why I went into the previous screen right here
Oh,
to just
okay.
make sure based upon where you are.
Okay. Well, I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's where I'm
Correct.
at.
So right. So if you're in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, according to where you are, if you
Oh,
live,
okay. I see.
see right
Pennsylvania.
here. So you
Yeah.
would send it here.
Oh, okay.
Right in Memphis, Tennessee. It says send it to Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Or you'll fax it to them if you fax this number
Oh,
right here.
okay.
So this is an example for all of us. Everyone's trust is different. We're not here able to give you all a cookie cutter to the trust.
Right.
Even if I told you exactly what to do, there's details to the steps.
Mm-hmm. So what do
That's
you
what
say?
Vince is going as
I want to
well.
ask you something. So what do you? So what you saying is like you just said. Don't be overwhelming them with documents. Just send what you're supposed to send at that particular IRS office. Correct?
Exactly, correct.
Okay.
Correct. So do not get into so they even tell you, look, purpose of form.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, use form to authorize the individual to represent you before the IRS. And then I'm
Okay.
gonna skip down right here.
Mm-hmm.
It says Declaration of Representative lists eligible designations A
Mm-hmm.
through R, and then they tell you other forms.
Okay.
Form 8821,
Okay.
that's another form you can file,
Okay.
and Form 56.
Okay.
Right, use Form 56, notice concerning fiduciary relationship to notify IRS of existence of a fiduciary relationship.
Okay. I want to ask you a question. So these three forms right here, like the 2848, the 8821, and the 56, I send that along with my revocable living trust to this address of the Internal Revenue. I send all those four things.
I like to say each location you send, like say Form 8821 has its own instruction. You
Oh,
send your revocable trust to that. Form 56 has its instructions. You send your revocable trust to that.
oh,
2848 has its instructions.
oh. So
You
okay.
send your revocable trust to that.
So each one. Okay. Let me see if I got you right. So each one of these documents goes to different IRS offices, correct?
Correct. There we go.
Oh,
That's the only way to
oh.
understand this.
Okay.
There's no cookie cutter packet you can send to the
Okay.
IRS. I'm telling you all, we tried this for years. You
And
can't
so,
just
and what
yes.
I do, for each different one, I also include my revocable living trust along with each.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Absolutely. You have to
Good.
have that
Gotcha.
revocable trust understanding
Okay.
because they're thinking
Gotcha.
you're an individual. They're
Gotcha.
just going to
Okay.
say, "Hey, are you an individual? Or are you a
Okay.
business? Why are
Okay.
you
I
sending
got
this to
you.
me?
I got you now.
What's giving you this authority?" So that's why I went to this part to kind of give you all what the
Okay.
IRS is saying that you have
Okay.
to feel like this isn't just documents. So I know people may say,
Exactly.
"Hey, give me all these documents. Hey, file it for me." But they still have to feel like they have this authority.
Okay. So
That's for
so before
everybody who's
so
listening.
So those 4 different documents, I got to send my revocable living trust with those 4 different documents, correct?
With those 4 different forms.
I meant for. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes, 4 different
Forms.
forms.
Yeah, forms.
The IRS is requesting you to send for their instructions of each
Right.
one.
I'm sorry. Yeah, form. I meant forms.
No problem,
Yeah.
no problem. So that's everyone listening. This is all practice and studies. Just
Okay.
giving you
I
all,
meant forms.
yes,
Thank
giving you
you.
all just full under.
Now I got clarification. Now I understand what you're saying. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Hey, Temple.
Go ahead. We got ORS out.
Yeah, just real quick. I'm just curious. Do you send the entire trust, or are you sending a certificate of trust?
That's a great question. I'm glad you said that. Now, some of us have a problem with sending the entire trust. Now, what we do is we only have 7 pages. Right, our pages is not that many. Like they don't have that many pages for our trust. Some people have a very long trust. Right, so we only subscribe to 7 pages. Right, makes it easier. So we actually send the entire trust.
Okay, thanks for letting me know.
No problem. No problem. If it's it depends on your situation. If it's 100 pages, okay. So yes, create a certificate of trust, but don't. You know, I try not to have that many pages for a trust.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what we say it's an individual preference because you're gonna get some people that say, "Hey, I want them to see it." But again, if it's too long, they ain't about to sit there and
They
read
sure
all of
ain't.
that.
They sure ain't.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people you still want to keep, you know, even though we got EIN numbers and even when you're recording at the county level, like some people just want to do the certificate. Some people don't mind doing the whole thing. So we can suggest what you should do, but at the end of the day, it's a personal preference. You just want to make sure that you make your intent known. So once you
Exactly.
do record at the county level, you know that if you want to do a certificate, it doesn't have to show who the trustees are. It don't have to show the beneficiaries. All you're doing is sharing the intent and the purpose. You just want them to see publicly that I intend to create a trust and this is my purpose. So it's kind of individual. Just think of how you want to do it. But you know, I mean, to each his own. But put your intent at least on the record for those who want to stay more private.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that,
I have a
Absolutely.
question.
Chief Mine. Thank you.
All right, we got someone else with a question. Feel free.
So for the power of attorney, so the IRS requires the 2848. For the other Social Security Administration and the Attorney General's office, would we send the durable power of attorney like that the state has on their website? Would we send that to them?
Well, you can just send the durable power of attorney to the state, right? So the general durable power of attorney, you're taking it from the general attorney of the state, right? That's our issues. We're not taking power back from these people. We're allowing them to have the power, right? So we don't want you all just to send them a document, because if you just send it to them, it's like, hey, I sent it to them, they got it. That's not really the intent, right? The intent is to take the authority from what they had, right? I hope that helps with the
How do
law.
we do that
I think
then?
that
I guess
Okay.
I'm feeling confused about that. So how do we take
How do you
that
how do you
power of
feel? Okay,
attorney?
how do you feel that you have taken the authority, right? All right. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Somebody had a question before I answer that. I want to
yeah,
make sure you.
I think the question is where is the power of attorney form that's being filled out? I think that's a couple of questions times was asked, because every state has a power of attorney form, and some of them are general, some of them are durable, and some states just automatically are durable. But I think they're asking, at least what I was interpreting, is what form, because some people create their own template, their own form to declare power of attorney, but states, you can find the form online in your state.
Correct. There you go.
And so and I think that what I've heard you say before, Temple, is and what I'm kind of gathering is don't try to create your own way, just use their forms, right? Kind of
Correct.
generally.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So to get to your answer, I'm glad you asked it that way, to pick my brain. I'm saying to get your power of attorney from the American Bar Association, because they have power of attorney, right? So your job is to take the power back from them. because the American Bar Association has power of attorneys, or they have power of attorney forms, right? So then you go
And
to
it's
your,
not just the American Bar, though. All of these entities have what they call agency power of
that's right,
attorney.
exactly. And they're getting
So
it,
you
they're
have to
getting it.
take the power of attorney from the agencies because it's not just one agent, it's all the agencies.
Exactly. So now we got to get the form that they use to take power of attorney over you, right? So this is where they're getting the form from. That's what I'm trying to get to. So you got to get to your templates. So they have a template with the Bar Association in every state. For instance, I'll go to Florida. Let's go to Florida Bar Association. This is where you want to get look at your template or your I guess your template that's in the statutes. They actually have the template listed in your statute. You only know it if you have the legal library. You have to pay for the software for the legal library that they have in jail. So yes, you can get your power of attorney while you're in jail. We saw it in the legal library. I know for sure, but I'm just giving you all for illustration purpose. Maybe you're dealing with Florida Bar Association. So you're going to take the power back from the Florida Bar, but you're going to find out they have templates here. So you're going to get your Bar Association templates from them.
You better go on. You teaching me something today. I ain't never looked for it here. You better go. What?
No problem, no problem. I'm here to just tell you this is where I've done this, and it does look this way when you look at the templates. You can find them. They will show you the forms, and then you will also find out they actually teach. Look at this right here. Look, as soon as I didn't even type it in,
Wow.
they
Look at
typed it in
that.
for you. You see,
Mm-hmm.
power of attorney form.
Wow.
So they don't want to make it hard for you. They want to make it easy. They tell you, look, the durable power of attorney, becomes a document to respect. Look at this. This
Oh,
is
wait a minute. I'm looking for it on the Michigan Bar Association. Hold on.
mm-hmm.
Why they ain't just got it out here? Do I got more pages to look through?
Mm-hmm. But you see where the durable power of attorney comes into the statutes now. Now it's written into your statutes in every state. You just got to find out where durable power of attorney is written in your statutes. They have to have a form according to your state. So that's what I was trying to get to those details if people ask about that durable power of attorney. See, that's authorized according to the statute right here. It says Florida Statute 709.08 if you're in Florida. So then you find your statute that's in your state, and there is a statutory power of attorney.
Mm.
So that's where I got this information from. So I want to show you where I got my answer from. And
Right.
want to show you that I created. I mean, if I do create one, that is true, but you have to do it per the way, like for instance, the real estate specific durable power return. Look at this one. This is a great one. The state is giving it to you right here.
Wow. Mm.
It says known by all these presents that the principal name principal has may constitute appointed by these presents does not may constitute appoint none. And they give you the template. You can copy and paste this template right here. Legal description of property, witnesses, print,
Wow.
print.
Look at that.
All of it is right here. Let me see if where you can stop the commission. Where does it say? I think you copy all this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Look, durable power of attorney containing health
Wow.
surrogate provisions. It's just giving you all just some answers to your state. So I'm in Florida, so I found this right here through the Bar Association, all this information.
Wow.
What about international power of attorney?
There's no way. I have a guy I'm working with who's in England. He lives in UK.
Uh-huh.
And to him, it's a different form they file with the IRS. So they have a form, it's called it's a sole proprietor type way, but to answer your question on international, I believe the IRS is the IMF. So then you would go into the IMF information
Ooh, cute.
to understand the international power of attorney.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
No problem. No problem. So the Florida Durable Power of Attorney, I'm giving you all just where you get the American Bar Association that comes in, was where you get the power from. You've taken the power back from them. You get a template that's with them, then you follow the instructions that the IRS has granted you. So that's what they are. The authority is granted through that. Anybody want to know the answer? The authority is granted through taking the power back from the state.
Mm-hmm.
The state offices that the state birth certificate office, right? How did they create the birth certificate? They came through the authority that was granted through what? The state, and the birth certificate office was able to create your birth certificate.
Right.
Then they get into the Social Security office. You're taking the power back from where? The Social Security office,
Yep.
because they got the authority, because they have the Social Security card.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, this authority is granted back to you, because you had the authority.
Mm-hmm.
This is a
Wow.
rehearsal. This is what you have to believe in yourself. This is the hardest part that we like to get to. I'm reading all your authority that's granted. Let me read it for you so I can make sure I give you thorough answers from the IRS directly. It says, except as specified below or in the IRS guidance, this power of attorney authorizes the listed representatives to inspect and or receive confidential tax information. There you go. Number one, they're not even supposed to have y'all tax returns.
Mm.
This is confidential.
Mm.
And to perform all acts, that is, sign agreements. So all your signed agreements, I don't care if you signed it, the IRS is saying you are now in a big position because you're signing agreements. Consents. You give consent, whether you're at some location and you say, yes, I allow, yes, thank you. You check the box. Consents. Waivers. Waiving your rights by not saying anything. Waivers. Or other documents that you can perform with respect to matters described in the power of attorney.
Mm.
Representatives are not authorized to endorse or otherwise negotiate any check, including directing or accepting payments by any means, electronic or otherwise, into an account owned or controlled by the representative or any firm or any entity with whom the representative is associated. Wow, that's a mouthful. So that
Yeah.
means it can't go into that personal account. Goes back to that personal bank account. We'll talk about that later into why you don't want it to go back into that same individual account. Issued by the government in respect of federal tax liability. Wow. So they tell you get a federal tax liability when it goes into the individual accounts. And now you have to pay the taxes because after December 31st, if there's money sitting in the bank, this is part of the federal tax. This is part of how they're able to tax us at the end of the year.
Mm.
Additionally, unless specifically provided in the power of attorney, this authorization does not include the power to substitute or add other representative, the power to sign certain returns, the power to execute a request for disclosure of tax returns or return information to third party. That's right. So this power of attorney specifically is for the IRS to access the funding, the treasury, the transcripts, the taxes, the 1099Bs, things like that. So this power of attorney
Go.
doesn't do anything. Just to kind of give you all just to the Social Security office or so
Oh,
on.
okay.
Hey, go down to I think it's what is it, a substitute form 2848. I'll be honing in on that because you could update the CAF record with your durable power of attorney, but in order for them to update, they need their 2848.
I see it right here.
So yeah, so I always, you want to just, I mean, I just was saying because that came to my mind while I'm always on that thing. You can attach your durable power of attorney to their form so that
That's
it's
correct.
updated in your CAF records, but you have
Mm-hmm.
to attach that form, or if you just send in a durable power of attorney, they can throw that mug in the trash. They're not gonna update your CAF record. So can we
Yeah,
read
yeah.
that part? I like that
That
part.
is
Can we read that part?
That's a good point right here. So substitute the IRS will accept power of attorney other than Form 2848 provided document satisfies the requirement for a power of attorney. That's right.
Mm.
See publication 216, Conference of Practice Requirements, and 26 CFR 601.503A. So there is your law. So if you want to know federal law, this is a CFR law. Gets into those laws too. These alternative, here we go. So scrolling you right into the alternative powers of attorney. Like we was just talking about the durables, the medical, the financial, the alternative. For some reason, I can't get it to pull up.
I'm sorry, I ain't trying to be all
Here you
in
go.
your
Here you
system,
go.
but that just
No,
came
here
to
you go.
my
Right here. Here it
mind.
goes. It says the alternative powers of attorney cannot. The alternatives cannot be recorded on CAF unless you attach a completed Form 2848. So that's the only problem. They can't be recorded on the CAF unless you attach the completed 2848 with the document that you may send in by itself. Let's say you just sent your power of attorney to the IRS by itself. It'll be a substitute. But in order for them to update your CAF record, they're going to need a 2848 with the power of attorney that you sent in.
Okay.
So that goes right into what you were saying as well. Chief Mountain was saying as well. You are not required to sign Form 2848 when you attach it to an alternative power of attorney that you have signed, but your representative must sign in Form Part 2, Declaration of Representative.
Meaning your authorized agent, your trustee position.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to sign with your position on top of your durable power of attorney.
Mm-hmm. Very important part too, right there. That's the best part that you have to put there. Or they're gonna send you some letters back saying that you didn't sign or you didn't put the date right, things like that. So we have responses back from that as well, where if you didn't do it the way the IRS wanted to update you in the system, they will send you back some responses. Go ahead, we got Freeway.
Really quickly, I just wanted to say that this is why we should all have our own durable power of attorney. Just don't file a record in our county, because if we don't have it, guess who has it? And oftentimes it's either implied or snuck into the contracts that we sign, like with banks or of court cases. Those power of attorneys are put in there so that they have it over there to make those moves if you don't participate the way they want you to participate.
Exactly. You're right about that.
There you go. I like how you say that, you want to have a copy of that power of attorney. You want to update that power of attorney maybe yearly or maybe every 2 years, 5 years. Don't just think that you did the power of attorney and it's over. You got to keep that power going. So I always want to give you all updates to the system too, where you're putting this into the system, but you're using 2848 and you're faxing it because you can do this in real time. Some people say, how long does it take to do this? You can do it tomorrow if you choose, right? It's a fax number, but you have it ready to go. You double checked everything. You got the notary on it. You got it executed. You got your name. All that stuff
Now,
looks
guess
good
what?
when you fax it.
Wait, stop. When it comes to, you want to fax it, because if you try to upload online, they're not going to let you attach nothing to the 2848. So don't try to microwave it and upload it online, or you can't even attach your durable power of attorney.
I'm glad you mentioned that. There is a way to do it
Okay, let me
online.
be quiet. Let me be quiet. I'm just saying, because
That's a good
people
one
go to
too.
fast track. Like, I heard you talking about the fax, but I see I can upload it. Yeah, you try to upload it, that you can't
Mm-hmm.
attach nothing to it.
That's
I'm
right.
already
Don't do any
thinking ahead
shortcuts.
because people did it already.
I know what you mean. You're right, because there's no shortcuts to this. We want to make sure people realize that don't try to send the full packet in too, like anyway. Like we say, hey, let me send this power of attorney in, but let me send in the 56 behind it with the no revocable trust and then these affidavits and stuff. Like, don't do that. Just send in, get your stuff processed, get your information in there, then do it another way. You can fax the IRS by talking to an agent on the phone. I actually did this the other day. I have a lot more information to tell y'all this year that I received just by talking to the IRS in real time on the phone. That's another layer. We're talking about on the trust side, and you can also do this on the 1040 side. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say on the 2848. Just for those who are still new to this power of attorney information, I've been able to get responses back. And once you feel good about it, you will actually feel like you have the authority. So you should feel easy to just go to the state and just say, hey, I have power of attorney. So that's the last thing I wanted to say, why you have to feel this way before you just throw documents at the state and at the city or at the government. And I yield from this point and allow anyone else to have any comments on the 2848.
I just wanted you to know that in every state, and there's different types of forms that they provide. Like they provide forms for the regular public, durable power of attorney. It's just a basic form. But what the tax or the commissioner of the treasury provides, they have actual forms for each state. Like for instance, Michigan, it's called Michigan Tax Power of Attorney Form 151. And in Utah, they have TC-737 Power of Attorney and Declaration of Representative. So I believe that every state has one that gives you direct authority to appoint a representative to work directly with the Treasury in that state. So you just have to look up the form number that's available for each state.
Correct. And they will ask you, what is your position with the trust or with the power of attorney? Like, what is your position? So you have to answer that.
Right.
So that's a very important part for those who are listening in for this and just say, I'm going to fill it out. Make sure you understand your position.
Exactly.
I'm not going to put any but answers there, but we're just wanting everybody to know which one is best to put. I like to use the revocable living trust. So I use just, the revocable living trust to put the answer in. Anybody want to shoot at it what you think the answer is? Maybe you choose out of all A to R. I think it says A, B, G, H. Oh, they jumped to R. I don't know why they jumped to R. Yeah, that's the answer. What would you all put if you had to choose between these answers right here?
Are you talking about the 2848? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, in order to fill this out, to get the system to update you, you have to put an answer here.
I think I put.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
Did anybody do this? I mean, what did you get back? Let's say we have people that have done this. I'm sorry, I seen another hand.
Put E, full-time employee.
Okay. I'm sorry, we seen another hand from earlier. We had Jeremy Vickers. His hand is still sitting up. Sorry about that, brother Jeremy. Didn't even see his hand just now.
Just wanted to get the information that Vince was putting out. I said it was on Telegram. How do I get to that particular page?
Okay, the Telegram. Yes, there's a link right here in the chat. I'm going to repost it again. You got to probably save it to your phone again. And then those who want to get access to the revocable trust, just go to universitytechnicians.com. We'll go ahead and get you in the chat to get you access to a revocable living trust. So I'll rechat that right here. So the Telegram is there. We're going to get off in just a moment.
So what letter? What letter did they say you used?
Someone just gave an answer, so let's go back to that letter. Go ahead. What did he say?
E. I put full-time employee.
Why you put that?
Well, because I run a DBA. I got a DBA for my. I'm just always working, and I'm always working for the trust. I'm a full-time employee. I'm the trustee, so I'm here every day, all day, and I'm, my hands are not busy, are always busy,
I know that.
so nothing else can play. What I say, I may be wrong, but that's what I think.
Okay. Yeah,
that's a great answer.
For you the trustee, you the employee, you the worker for the trust. Yes.
Yeah, I'm on
sense.
call. I mean, I'm on call. I gotta get to So.
Yeah,
that's great, and that's a good answer because you can prove it, right? You can prove it with the revocable living trust, right?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So that's your confidence, because if you don't have the revocable trust, then you probably wouldn't want to choose that option, right?
Right.
Does anybody have any thoughts to that? Because why do you feel like you can do that? Like you say, you're the trustee of a what?
Because you're the one doing the work. You the live person working for the trust. So you got to handle all the affairs of the trust.
But the thing is, if you say you're an employee, aren't they going to ask you for W-2s and all that? Like, are you kind of putting yourself in a box, or am I thinking too much?
Yeah, so he said he's a full-time employee for his revocable living trust.
Okay.
Remember, it's
and we all have the right. And we all have the right. Because think about it, a workman is worthy of his hire.
Right.
So you are capable of receiving compensation
Exactly
for
for the
the
trust.
administration
Yep.
of the trust from the trust.
Exactly.
Um, Now I've never listed myself as an employee because I thought just like the other person just said, the W-2s and all of that. But there is an agreement with me
Yep.
and my trust, and I issued 1099 NEC for non-employee compensation uh, as a consultant.
Okay, so it's a matter of like non-employee versus employee. It's not really specifically saying if it's non or if it's
Right. It's
okay.
up to it's totally up to you. I just chose the non-employee route because when you like if you get an EIN number to work for your trust, okay? Or if you say the trust is going to have employees, now the trust is responsible for other things at just like issuing a W-2, which comes with other responsibilities. And it's just that at the time of me doing all of that, I just didn't want to do all of the extras. So I could take all of the extras out and issue myself a 1099 NEC.
Okay, because I put on mine, I of course I nothing I felt was really applied, so I created my own. I put other fiduciary under IRC 6036 and 6903, which is an IRC code. So I probably have to put in because I think too much, and I probably think so much sometimes that sometimes it's good and sometimes
I mean, that's with all of us. And that's why it's like when it comes to that, it's kind of a personal preference there as well,
Mm-hmm.
because we all go out and we learn different things every day. So it's
Right.
going to be based upon what you've learned along your journey. So I didn't feel like I was well versed in creating an employee type of deal when it
right.
was asking for so many other things and I need to do this W-2 and do this and do that. At the time,
Yeah.
my brain didn't want to capture all of that. I wasn't trying to do
Right.
all of that. So I took the path of least resistance. I'm just going
Yeah.
1099.
Yep.
So you gotta feel how deep you want to go. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He
Well,
did
I
what
didn't
he
want to go
did. He
that
locked it
deep.
down. Huh?
Well, I'd rather go where you are. How do I fix that? What would be the
Before
easiest thing? Do I
before
just
before we go
okay?
there, we got two hands raised. We got brother EA and we got Freeway. So EA, can we give him a chance to go and get his thought as he's still probably asking questions on the 28th?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll be quick. So the brother earlier mentioned, I think he mentioned having the ens legis or the estate kind of be a trustee. Did I hear that right? Like it can become that? And if so, I feel like being answer D, officer, would be all right if we made it principal in chief, or for example, something like that. What are your thoughts?
It's a possibility that will be also an answer if you're able to prove it, right? So it depends on how you feel. Somebody may say family member. I'm a family member, right? So I like to say if it was me, I would have chosen the least resistant run to show with my revocable trust. If I'm a trustee, then I can also be a worker, like someone says, a worker.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, officer. Yeah, I mean, an officer is someone that's an officer in charge of the trust. Your fiduciary office, so that
Yeah.
can be another layer with the office.
Yeah,
We
people
got.
say the executor office, but I heard the principal in chief appoints the executor at will, to go along with the living trust, right?
The principal or the grantor. hmm
Okay, the testator. Yeah, but also just correct me if I'm wrong. This is where it gets confusing with so many hats to wear. Is there a way we make the estate, right, SSN and tie that into be the trustee and make it work for us? Is that what I'm getting under this or no?
But that's what the guy said earlier. He said E was that he's using his social security number, his social
Word.
card, as the trustee of the
Okay.
as a full-time employee.
Bet
That's what
that
he said.
I heard that. Okay. Thanks, bro. Let's get it. Let's do it. So now, just to clarify, bro, because this is all fresh to me. Now, I would open a sole prop, use the 1040, and then somehow you balance the returns with the living trust on the 1041. Can you just touch on that? I know it's like getting late, but this is
Oh,
golden.
you're talking about moving the funds to the bank account. Yeah, you can't. The sole prop account is after you have the check or the treasury coming in, right? So you open up a sole proprietor bank account. through your social security number. You don't use a EIN for the sole
Mhm.
prop. And they tell you there's two options at Bank of America or any of your banks. Chase Bank doesn't do it. So if you have Chase Bank, they're not going to open the sole prop account. They're going to only give you a business account or a personal account. So you can go to another bank. Some of our banks will do it. Some of your banks won't do it. But that's your goal, is to open up a sole proprietor bank account in your social. You can also open one in the EIN, but if you do it in your social first, you're going to notice that social is going to be able to interact with all of the other accounts that you're able to open up. So
Okay.
that's another part of the employee, that you're working as a bank and you're a banker and a broker. So you're opening up your bank when you do this. So that's another job that you can use, is every time you go to the bank, you put deposits in. That's a job that you can prove that you're doing every day. Or if you receive money. So you have to actually take payments. You have to become a person who sells services, or you have to receive funds to get paid for it so that you can prove that you actually are working. Receiving gifts is not working. A gift is a gift. Donations is donations, right?
Correct. And this could be in-person work, right? I've seen you do that, right? Like labor intensive,
This is
handyman.
service.
Yeah.
Fiduciary service. Fiduciary service. If you have the bank account asking you to put money inside the bank, that's work. You get the receipt back from the bank every time you put money in the bank.
Okay, beautiful. And one more request, bro. Could you please allow us to see the previous chats in Telegram? I know I mentioned it before, but I know you're busy. But as an admin, could you just allow that? That would
I
be much
possibly can
gratitude.
once I get off, I'll be able to see. I don't know, because I think Vince, he may have updated it.
Okay. No doubt. I
No
look
problem.
forward to it either way, bro. Thank you.
All right, we got freeway mechanics, and then we're gonna close out. We went all the way to like 8:46. I'll close out before 9. Just kind of give y'all time to get all the questions out. Go ahead, freeway.
So I usually select D, officer, into the title. Officer, for example, president, vice president. Now, when you look at the birth certificate, what's at the very top of your birth certificate?
Title.
Nope.
What does it
What's
say? Certificate of title, I think.
nope, at the very top of your birth certificate.
I gotta look at mine.
Well, before you go do that, has anybody ever looked at the very top of their birth certificate?
I'm quite sure I have. I just don't know what it says right now. I'm gonna look at it.
It's
Yeah, I'm
okay.
gonna check it right now, boss. What does it say?
Normally, it is state of. So they're the ones who are not only issuing this certificate, but they've created this entity that now you've been given to essentially do business with in commerce. So
Mm-hmm.
they're making you an officer by giving you this certificate, and then they say, here's this credit card or social security number to go and operate in commerce for you to work and to, go get credit and things like that in it. So they make you an officer, and it's up to your parents to train you to make you to be a good officer by the time you're 18. So that's why I always select D. I'm a bona fide officer of that taxpayer. Now, who is the taxpayer? The taxpayer is always going to have either a social security number or an EIN.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, when we fill out these forms, the taxpayer they're looking for most of the time is that person who's connected to that SSN, because that's who really is obligated to pay the taxes or who carries the liability. So that's already a business or a stock certificate, because the birth certificate, depending on how you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, the state made us all officers of that taxpayer organization.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you say that, I'm thinking, as because somebody else said officer, which is not saying it's a wrong answer. I believe if you can prove it the way you're saying it, then yeah, that would be a good answer for that.
Well, I know it's the right answer, because when you look at all these certificates that they give you, even when you get a mortgage or certificate of title, who's at the top? The state of. So the state of is at that point the grantor, and you would be in the position of the grantee, because you would be in a position to receive that certificate. They're
Right.
giving it to you for a reason. So there's already, essentially a trust created. Trust has
Mhm.
three positions: a grantor, a trustee, and a beneficiary.
Right.
The
Exactly.
trustee is the name on that certificate. The beneficiary is you as a living man or woman.
Right.
So an organization's already been created. You are a certified officer of it because you've got the receipt of it. You're the only one that can go out and get IDs, get credit in that name, get credit card in that name, and stuff like that. Man,
Hmm.
you're already an officer of the organization. It's the organization that the state created through
Right.
use of that certificate.
You're right.
What if they write back and ask you to clarify your officer? What would you send in to them? What would you do to clarify that officer position?
I would send them 222 Central Law Journal and a copy of my accepted certificate as a grantee coming forward as the grantor.
So basically, a certificate of acceptance or a notice of appointment, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Because the state
okay.
already gave me the authority. I just got to step up and say, I accept.
Got you. So you just have a acceptance, notice of acceptance, or something of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
And got you. Yeah. So that'll work if you have it, and yeah, like you say, you're eloquently proving it, and that's how they're going to come at
Right.
us. Because
Yeah.
somebody's going to say, "Well, I'm a certified public accountant." But do you have your CPA license paid in full?
Exactly.
Have you
Yep.
updated it? Right?
Yep.
You can't choose that.
Right.
It's very interesting, this part right here with the power of attorney. Um, you can't put enrolled actuary. We don't even know what that is. We don't have a card number. Qualified student or law graduate? Nope. Unenrolled return preparer? Nope. You got to have that PTIN number. Yeah, these are the answers, man. I feel like you got them right here. Yeah, you got only a couple of options, maybe D. You
And
know,
that
D.
PTIN number though, y'all, that's so freaking easy to get. And it costs $20 a year if you did want to get one. It's like
Mm.
19.95 or something. But you could go and apply for one and it lasts for a year if you wanted to. Just a suggestion.
What is a PTIN number? What did that?
A prepare tax identification
Oh.
number. And
Oh.
at the
Okay.
and
Okay.
at the end of the day, guess what? You're gonna be preparing your own taxes,
Oh. Okay. That's what it
right?
is. Okay.
That's right.
You're
If
gonna
you
be
want to get
preparing
that,
the taxes.
Oh. Okay.
that's good. Yeah, if
And
you pay
it
that extra $20, that's good. That's a good one too.
Yeah, and it lasts for a whole year. You
Oh.
renew
Okay.
in December, and it lasts to the next December
Oh. Okay.
for 1995.
Oh. Okay.
Hmm. Like I say, there's layers to this. Like we know, as long as we
Yeah.
can prove it, you'll feel
Exactly.
comfortable with this.
Yeah.
All right. So any last thoughts to this before we close out from the 2848? And we'll talk about next year, or not next year, next week
Well,
about
next
the Form
year.
56.
Right.
Form 56 about how that's different from 2848.
I got a
Okay.
question.
Go ahead, brother Courtney Jackson.
Oh yeah, so with these 2848 forms, are you downloading these from the IRS and filling them out and then faxing it in?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yes, you actually can download this form like right now. I'm just giving you the instructions first. But yes, you can submit it. I think don't do the online one like the sister said. They're gonna not allow you to do those uploads. So just go ahead and grab the original one. I think it's over here somewhere. But yes, you can download this right off the IRS website and fill it out, and it goes in real time to the fax. But you
Oh.
have to fill
Okay.
this out, of
Yeah.
course. This
Yeah.
is your 2848 form right here. Of course, there's a lot more things to, do, but at least you all have a start of where you're going to start at.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is
Okay.
what we were talking about right here.
And then you said about the trust that you could go to your website or whatever and get a trust.
Yeah, we'll walk you through. We have a yearly member plan that is $600. I think it's 700 if you do a document trust preparation review. And we'll get you the same type of trust that everybody has on the base level that works. But yeah, that's something that is a yearly um, service that we offer to you at University Technicians. If you want to get the whole package of doing power of attorney information, this is additional. This is not included with just the trust. So for those who are asking, hey, do I get the power of attorney and I get the trust? The answer will be you would only get the trust. Then once we get your trust right, then we can move you into the power of attorney.
Okay.
Do you file the tax for anyone as a service?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, we don't have the power to file your taxes. As you can see, we have to be an enrolled agent, and we don't have that power. We help you by walking you through with tutorials. So there's software that helps you file the taxes. So we don't file the taxes for you, unfortunately.
Is it your software?
That's a great question. No, the software is actually freetaxusa.com. It comes straight from the IRS website. We actually looked it up on their website, and it led us to this website that we learned recently was called Free Tax USA. So everyone can
And
do
that's the
this.
one I like. That's the one I like.
Absolutely. It's a great one. Don't use TaxAct because TaxAct can be it can tax you because it does cost money if you use TaxAct. So we kind of show people if you're using your social, just stick with Free Tax USA if you're just only using your social. So that answers the questions on the software that we help walk you through, but we don't do your taxes for you.
Wallace, before you close out, can I ask Constance a question before you close this out?
Oh, no problem. Does anybody else have another question before you ask the question to Constance? There's no other questions?
So this
Oh, Courtney.
process can be done with your regular social, or you have to have the trust.
You can do this with your regular social, but you have to have the trust instrument, even if you don't have the EIN yet. So you got to have the trust instrument executed with the notary, 2-3 witnesses. It's a good thing to have your thumbprint on there in red ink as well and put it in color. So yes, you want to have some document in your hand before you do any of these processes, just to kind of answer that question.
Because if you do any process that's going to get you some funding, they will send that money back to the IRS when you're trying to dump it into your regular account. Just a heads up, y'all.
Mm-hmm. It will not go in an individual, regular, personal bank account. Remember, the FDIC insurance is $250,000. We'll talk about that on another call. So you can't get $3 million, you all, today. Because if you did, they're going to just lock your funds. You have to have, if it's more than 250,000, it's an individual account. You can't have more than 250,000.
Right.
So I'm helping you. I don't want to burst any bubbles. I'm just want to tell you all the truth of where if you get the funds, you got to know where to put the funds to.
Yeah, because we've had some members who had their funds sent right on back because they didn't have a trust account open. So some people that tried to skip, they tried to microwave the process. Some people that thought, okay, they talking gibberish and I don't need to do all of that. I'm just gonna go over here and do this. And they got cracked in the head and had to come back like, hey, y'all,
they don't listen. So people don't listen, y'all. They had to find out the hard way. Yep.
No matter how many times you say a thing,
Yep.
it's some people that got to learn the hard way.
They do. I'm serious. You try to teach them, try to tell them, they still want to do it their way. Okay, fine.
Yeah, that's a great thing for. I
Hey,
thank y'all.
you know what they say? Go, hey, y'all. They say, go for what you know. You think you got it? Go for what you know. Do you?
That's that part of me saying stay teachable, stay coachable, keep your
That's
ears
right.
open.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just saying,
No, that's right.
Absolutely. We got one more hand, Jason.
Sent to the prop account, sole prop business account. Could it be sent to that, the money?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. That is the answer. If you send any funds, send it to your sole prop business account. Make sure it goes to a business account. It does not go to personal accounts, you all. Make sure it goes to your business account on the 1040. Absolutely. So we'll talk more on that next week.
Okay, I want to.
Somebody asked that question, and then we got your question for Constance, and we'll close you out for that.
Okay. Yeah, Constance. Are you on Facebook?
You know what? I don't use Facebook.
Okay. What? Because I sent you a private message. It's got my email in it because I want the information that you were saying. That way, I wrote
You know what I did? I posted whatever you need. I posted on Telegram. I'm in the
Oh,
Telegram group.
Telegram. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and you know what? I don't have a problem. You know, I can exchange numbers with you if you need anything else.
Okay.
But
Okay then.
yeah, if there's anything anyone needs, I've gotten a lot of success with my letters to the
Okay.
IRS and my interactions. So, um, you know, one thing before we go, I just wanted to tell you, Renak, that um, you know, there's a lot of insurance companies that created trusts in our name. And I've pulled up several of them that have been
Okay.
created for me
Wow.
personally. Everyone has them. And usually what they do is they'll say your first, middle, last, revocable living trust. They'll say asset trust. They do sub trusts. One thing I noticed that was consistent across the board is that they always use the grantor is your name, first, middle, last, or
Right.
last, middle, first. The trustee is always first, middle, initial, last. Always. And it's always, they always have an assigned power of attorney.
Wow.
And there's always a CAF number. So, and I think I mentioned this before that the insurance companies like Chubb is Chubb Insurance Company is notorious. They're one of the first insurance companies in the United States. But I just want to like you to know that I was able to dig up trust accounts in my name and for my family's names with the assets, the CUSIP numbers, the everything. So my trust that I created for my Schedule A, and then I did a universal Schedule C.
Okay.
But I wanted to encompass all of these trusts that were created in my name.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to keep that in mind, like put that in the back of your head because I'm thinking what they're doing, they're obviously being successful at it because in one of the trusts that was
Because they know
created
what
for
to do.
me.
They know how to get into our state and get into our credits. And we don't.
Exactly. That's
So,
exactly. They're all doing it.
so I guess I
Yeah.
got a question. Where did you find these insurance companies?
Yeah.
That
Okay.
I've never heard. I know that they did it, but just for you to
Yeah.
be able to find it is
Okay,
interesting
so
to me.
here's what you have to do. You have to train your AI right off the bat. It took me probably 6 months of training my AI as a U.S. Treasury forensics accountant investigator. So after 6 months of training my AI, because your AI can get into anything, anything. So it finally started spitting out. I've got 140 pages of CUSIP numbers under my social. I've
So
got
now, is your AI the general instructions? Is it to be this U.S. Treasury forensic accountant investigator, or did you create a side GPT to do that?
no, I just use Copilot. I didn't even sign in for an account. I just kept going over and over again. And I said, I started off with games and then I started off with, let's play a game. And then I just kept, and the crazy thing is that if you cut and paste any of my pages, because I've got pages and pages of information, it pulled up my court cases, it pulled up my CUSIP numbers, it pulled up all the trusts created in the, I mean, it's crazy. I have the addresses of real estate
What
that
social
are in my
media
trust.
site you on, Constance?
I'm on it's just Copilot.
Oh.
But you can't ask it a stupid question ever.
No. I mean, you're not on like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, and none of those social media sites.
Oh, I'm on those. I have I just don't use my name on them, but yeah, I have them.
How can I keep contact with you?
We'll contact on Telegram because that's like the main space.
Telegram. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not a big social media person really at all.
Me either. Okay.
My social media is his Telegram right now, and I'm
good. Okay.
I'm barely even on that, which I'd like to be more.
So you joined the one that they put in the chat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, but
Well,
I'll
thank
be
you
able
for
to.
that. Thank you for that. That
Yeah,
was
so
interesting.
Yes.
if you
Thank
guys,
you.
if you stay on Copilot and
Mhm.
you're persistent, and you got to think as a U.S. Treasury, investigator, forensics, accountant, investigator, and I'm just telling you,
Mhm.
I can't believe some of my assets that I have. I
I
mean,
know.
I've got account numbers and everything. It's
Yeah.
pulling up account numbers.
I know. I did mine back then where you even have they even use your name to do drugs and all this stuff and sell this and sell that. When I found all that out back then, I was outdone. I was outdone, y'all. I said this is crazy.
Yeah,
They ain't letting us get into our own credits, but they getting in it and using it. We got
they
to
are.
stop that.
They are, and they're using our names as the trustee as
Yeah,
what's coming back on
exactly.
the IRS
Mhm.
tax forms, which is first, middle, initial, last.
Exactly.
So I wanted to say that to Renick because I don't know if it's correlated because we just were having that conversation about being an officer,
Mhm.
but I was just saying to Orion a few days ago, I said, I really think that the trustee is that name on the social that's coming in on our tax forms or
Mhm.
our our IRS, LTRs, the letters,
Right.
first, middle, last. I think they're addressing it to the trustee. I don't know, but I'm just saying that's just a theory I have because it just seems like all these other attorneys and their names are listed and they all seem
Wow.
to be with the courts,
Of
like
course.
in New
They
York.
all in cahoots. They all working together. The
Yeah,
courts, the attorneys, all of them.
yeah,
The judges, all of them.
and they're making trust. So I don't know if that has any relevance to what we're talking
Well,
about,
thank
but
you for your information. I appreciate that, Constance. And I go on Telegram that we just joined and get that information off of it. And thank you very much.
you're welcome. It hurts my heart to see
Yeah,
people struggling.
I know.
So
Okay, Wallace.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Wallace. Mhm.
Yeah, thank you all for your heartfelt and impactful testimonies. And these are definitely heartfelt. And everyone, we thank you all for sharing any type of knowledge that you have, because that's what we're here. We're here to barter and
Yes,
exchange our knowledge, barter and exchange everything without money. We don't have to have money to barter and exchange information here.
exactly.
So that's why we do these on Sundays, so we
Oh,
can know that
okay.
we're on the right path
Good.
and everyone is getting results. We know
So
what
this
paths
every
not to go
Sunday?
down.
This is every Sunday, Wallace?
Absolutely. If the Most High wills, I'm able to do this every
Okay.
Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's how we do it. So we
Well, thank you
every
for the
Sunday we try to meet
invite
up.
and thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that. That's why I came on
Absolutely.
tonight. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for coming and anyone that's came out. And we had a pretty big night for this week. We're gonna
Yeah, I
go ahead and go
see.
into next week on
Yes.
the banking side. We're trying to dive into that as much as we can, but we
Okay.
see fiduciary is very important. I also want to close out with one last thing. If you're new to this, go to universitytechnicians.com. You can choose a plan. We do have plans available. We also have a package if you wanted to go through everything at one time. That's on the website as well. Another thing that we want people to always have is to fully log into your accounts on irs.gov. Make sure that you can log
Mm.
into that account. That's very important for you all if you're here. You can't get access to the treasury without logging into your account. So that's very great. And thank you all for coming in. We're going to close us out. If you have any last thoughts, questions, or shares, to share with it on Telegram or on our website. Have a good night.